fun. Nobody else hears those echoes. You don't worry about it. We're good.
Nobody heard that?
No.
Just us?
Just the three of us.
Right, cool. Okay. All right. It was cool. It was a cool effect.
15 different buttons, and they're like, oh, no, they changed the audio feed. Good. This will be fun. Hey, out these Seminole headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV, and away we go. With that, we say hello to Ira and Corey. I'm Jeff, and yay, sausage.
Corey back in the building. It's good. It feels good.
Feels right.
Feels right.
It does feel right.
Cozied up.
Register sausage feels right, too.
Always.
Right in your belly.
Always.
I got, I've got a full supply still at the house. You guys need to come over at some point. I've got a bunch of different, and this wasn't just given to me. Ben didn't just make a delivery. This was me going out and doing the right thing and making the purchases.
Oh, you went out and actually went and bought some register sausage.
Sometimes he gives me the free ones, and you guys are left out in the cold. But sometimes I go out and buy them myself, like you guys do. But I've got plenty of register sausage, and you should too. If you are in this part of the country, you can go to your local grocery store. It's the Publixes, the Walmarts, Costco. I think maybe start carrying them. I think Sam's has some value packs as well. But go to your local grocery store, and if they don't have all the varieties. There's a bunch of different varieties, bunch of SKUs, as we like to say in the business. And the jalapeno cheddar, the hot, the regular mild, the original, the short links, the breakfast variety. Or if you don't live in this part of the country, go to registermeats.com and you can have it delivered, and it comes fresh to your doorstep. Comes in a cooler with ice, and it's just like you bought it from the store. So go to registermeats.com. Hopefully, maybe we'll get a promo code one day. Ben will wake up.
They have to win another football game.
Or we could get an Issa Torres.
It's not a road game.
We can get an Issa Torres promo code.
That would be great. She's incredible. She's awesome. She's been a fun part of the sports season.
Is she the top athlete on campus right now? Well, top healthy athlete on campus right now?
Man,
Has
that's
to be.
a toughie.
Has to be.
Deuce Robinson might be.
Issa's better at what she does than Deuce is at what. Now, we're not talking about future earnings.
We also have a track star.
I was going to say, I was thinking about Makai Danzy, but also I think her name is Walker, the last name Walker. She's the best sprinter in the country. Okay. So Florida State's got some things working.
And then they
got a golfer coming.
Oh, yeah.
Not Charlie. Charlie's okay, but Miles is the other guy.
Miles.
He's coming on board. So they got some real athletes here.
Lots of athletes. And maybe some football players. Good vibes over football today, Jeff. I don't know if you could feel it.
Well, please enlighten. I'd love to hear it.
I don't know if Corey felt the same way. I thought there were some good vibes over there.
Good
Corey.
vibes. What does that even mean?
I don't know what Ira means.
Vibes.
I do like the Jalen Anderson kid is very impressive behind the podium. And I mean, not just the way he speaks, which is like he's got a personality. He's effervescent. And he talks about football being his passion, which is you need guys like that.
I'd like my football players to be passionate.
You like sport. And to be effervescent.
But when I say passionate, they got to care. They got to work hard.
Yeah, but also
athletic.
Well, that too.
That's what you don't know. But man, he is an impressive physical specimen as well. I'm going to say he benches more than all of us.
I would hope.
Yeah,
he's playing football at Florida State. Yeah. If he doesn't bench more than me, we got a problem.
Do you think there's a player on the team that doesn't bench more than I do? I think I could get 225 once.
I was going to say the kicker, but he was fighting cops. So
yeah,
he
apparently
might be thicker than we thought. So who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, he doesn't look big, but he may be. You never know. Very strong.
Irish strength.
Correct.
Especially after some
kickers don't count. I would say no. There can't be any way.
I would say every kid on that team
is stronger than me. Yeah. Much stronger, which is good. Built by storms.
Speaking of. When we were out of pro day when we were out of pro day the other day, the long snapper, I can't remember his name. The guy that was a long snapper the last couple of years. Mason Arnold.
Roddenberry?
Mason Arnold. Roddenberry's a few years ago. Mason Arnold, he's ripped. He is ripped for a long snapper. But he ran the 40. Not blazing, but he did run the 40. I don't know why they have the long snapper run the 40.
Don't need him to.
But he did run the 40.
Sometimes they make tackles downfield now. Sometimes they're down there.
And I'm pretty sure I heard him talking to a friend and saying he was hoping to break 5 flat, which goes back to my argument from back in the day with Corey that under 5 is pretty fast. Like anything under 5 is
for a normal person.
Corey was insulted that I didn't think
again because my son, and this was Buster Posey years. This was 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I was 5'8", 170, and
You
I
ought to
consider
be able to
myself
run
pretty
under
athletic.
5
Like
at
if
that
you're
point,
170 pounds, you need to be breaking 5 seconds.
But Mason Arnold looks like, if you saw him today, you'd be like, that's an athletic dude.
Yeah.
And he was trying to break 5'5".
Well,
That's all
I'm
saying.
an
I
incredible
wasn't
athlete. I've been
insulting
trying
you.
to tell you all that for
That
years.
was 17 years ago.
I know.
I don't know that I can break 5 anymore.
Well, Mason Arnold's 22, 23. I mean,
Yeah, he ought
I
to
don't
be
think it
able
was crazy to say that a normal human being, if you run under 5, that's pretty fast.
It's pretty fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty fast.
So I'm pretty fast.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
used
yeah.
to be.
I think I still could.
Don't
For my
apply what you
age.
did 17 years
Yeah,
ago
I
to
know.
now.
I probably I run a lot more than I did then,
Yeah,
but
you
for
can
my
run for
age,
distance in a way you never
Yeah,
could have
that's right.
17 years ago.
I'm like a gazelle.
What
I'm going to
other-
start doing those ultra marathons.
You'll never be a gazelle because you're short.
That's
So
true.
you have to be
My
more
strides.
like pick a stocky animal that can really run.
Walter
is
Dix was kind of stocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like a modern day Walter
I was
Dix.
gonna say, are we comparing Walter
I'm proud. I mean,
I
I'd like to
remember
see
Walter
that
Dix
race.
well.
We never got to see it in our primes. It's like De La Hoya and Mayweather,
Tell
or
you what,
Mayweather Pacquiao. We never got to see it in our prime.
You were frequently back in the state of Georgia, in particular in the city of Atlanta. There's a certain promotion they've been doing for years with
Freeze,
the Atlanta Braves.
The Freeze
Where you
guy,
at,
whatever
baby?
he's called.
Let's go.
He
Get
would
out
he
there.
would
Is it
get
the
me.
Freeze? Is that what
It
they
is
call
the
him?
it's the freeze. Yeah. No, he would get me, but I think it'd be close. And I wouldn't be one of those people that
You'd
think
pull
I've
your
won.
hamstring 20 yards
I'd have
into
to
it.
stretch a lot. But I would not be one of those dum-dums that thinks I've won
got your
and
hands
starts
up.
celebrating, and then he comes and sprints past me. But that's the best thing the Braves have, other than the World Series title, that's the best thing the Braves
The
have done
Freeze
in
is
25
awesome. I
years.
love
It is a
It's
great
every
promo.
time I watch
He
it.
can fly.
He can really fly. Although every now and then somebody gets him, and you're like, all right, well done. Oh, they get him with a huge
It would be
I'm
funny
sorry,
if
but
like
yeah.
one of us was the Freeze. And the person just started widening the gap.
He lapped us.
They wait for the inning to start.
Hey, so you broke out something to start the show, and
Good vibes.
I want to circle back to it.
Good vibes.
That's how I drive. I get us right back to where we started. Here we go. You said good vibes, and I
Just
want to
like,
know
what the hell are you talking about?
What's that constitute? Yeah, please define your terms, sir.
I mean, listen, man. It's partly because of the guys we talked to. We talked to Nate Pabst, offensive lineman.
Mhm.
We talked to Jalen Anderson, the defensive
And these
end.
were kids that you enjoyed
They're
talking
impressive.
about. Yeah,
They're impressive
young
guys.
men. Yeah.
And
They're grown-ups. They're
Yeah.
mature, man. They're grown-ups.
And I liked what Pabst was saying. Some of the things he said about the quarterbacks. He's really high on Kevin Sperry, but also Ashton Daniels. He was really he's just a sharp dude. And that was one of the things Norvell, we asked him about the offensive line and, that those pieces coming together. And he said, it's really smart. Like he almost like came to the realization as he was talking about them multitasking and things in different positions. And he was like, they're really a bunch of smart guys, which is good, man. Like that's certainly a positive when you're talking about an offensive line that has to kind of deal with the defensive front that throws a lot of things at them.
Well, I'm glad to hear it because it didn't sound like he was overly impressed with the offensive line after the first scrimmage.
Yeah, it sounded like there were some breakdowns.
Some
Yeah.
issues there. But I also didn't panic. I don't want people to think, oh, that's it. I chalked them up as losers. No, it's your first scrimmage. Defense is always ahead of the offense, etc. This is five guys that are all new together. And so I didn't panic, but you could tell in the way that he answered the question, he was not overly impressed with their first effort in the scrimmage.
Yeah, but he did say today was the best day of the offense. Is part of another reason for the good vibes.
Yep,
Best day for the offense all spring.
That's
Jeff.
the only side of the ball Corey cares about. So you ought to be whistling as well.
And he said that Jason Lopez and Devin Carter are definitely going to play this year.
Devin Carter doesn't surprise me at all.
Jason Lopez, he
can't stop talking about
two
Lopez.
times in a row.
But that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy literally didn't come out to football until like 2 weeks ago.
It's interesting
He
that
said the scrimmage was his first day in pads,
Yeah.
and then today was his second day in pads, and he says he's going to play for us this
I
year.
think Mike is pretty damn deliberate with the way that he talks about players or practices and scrimmages. So the fact that he's brought him up not once but twice, back to back, that's interesting to me. I mean, the kid's making an impact right away.
And because Corey's question was, can you tell some of these freshmen that are going to play right away? And he shot out Devin Carter and Jason Lopez, like didn't even think about it. Like those two guys for sure. Then he went to some of the other, the young linebackers, and then also, Chuck Kennan, the young corner. But I mean, as soon as you asked that question,
and it was the context of it was, last year at this time they knew the Desirs were probably going to play for him. They thought Boggs was going to be a star, like after 6 spring practices. And I was like, can you see any of that right now with these new freshmen? And those were the 2 names he mentioned off the jump.
It's weird though, because I will say, and I'm not trying to be dour here, but I mean, like freshman receivers don't typically make huge differences in a season, and it typically takes a little time.
And he qualified. He said that I'm not saying they're going to go out and be stars, but they will play. Like they're going to contribute.
So that aided the good vibe feel. Anything on defense that elicited good vibes?
Man, I would encourage everyone to go watch the Jalen Anderson video. He is a big personality. He says all the right things. He is a big dude.
Yeah, I hope you can see that in the video, because I was wondering about him when they signed him out of junior college. Looked at the size, the measurables, the size and weight, and I was like, we'll see. But because he's not like 6'5", but he's just standing there or sitting there watching him talk. He's got those. Talking about bench press, but he's got those muscles like in those traps or not traps.
Traps
delts,
up here, buddy.
Delts, like those muscles that when you're not
triceps,
even flexing.
Talking about the tries?
Or maybe it's tries.
Tries, yeah. Tries and buys. That's what I'm doing today after this show.
Big time.
Those dudes, when you're not, and that was like when I saw the Desir twins last year. I was like, when they're not flexing, they're just standing there and the muscles are evident.
Yeah.
Like in those, it's like, okay. And he's got that.
That's when you go, you work out, don't you?
You do.
I actually did. I asked him.
And it's not just curls.
You're doing some things.
I asked him about his, like how much he had improved in the weight room. But I thought what was interesting is that, because Tony White brought him up on Monday and said that he brought his name up and said he had made some flash plays. He's just got to be more consistent and give greater effort. And so Ira asked him about that, like giving effort on every play. He's like, he had a good point, never thought about it. He's like, at JUCO, because of the numbers, there's more load management. They want us to go 100% on X number of plays because there aren't that many of us.
They don't have 100 dudes out there.
But here, there's a million of us, so they want us to be gassed out on every play.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's something I'm having to get used to, is going gas out on every play, because I want to be in the NFL. All these guys want to be in the NFL, and that's how you get there.
Which was good context, because with the one Tony White said it, and he wasn't trying to rip the kid, but he was just saying, he said, listen, when he brings it, you got to deal with him. Like he's a challenge when he brings it.
So getting him up to snuff where he can do that all the time.
Every play, you got to bring it every play. So the implication is, okay, when you're in junior college, maybe like you took plays off.
Yeah.
But his point was, no, man, it was kind of by design, which makes sense.
So you think about like the way he talked about Ryland Kennedy and just how twitchy and freakish he is as an athlete. And then the way they talked about him, the way he talks about himself, and they're like, you're okay. You're like, because I'm not sold on this defensive line. Why would I be? I mean, I know the Desirs are going to be good. Other than that, we don't know. But you start, again, you got to squint, but you start getting a little more positive if Jalen Anderson and Ryland Kennedy can actually be something. Like Jalen Anderson swears that's an NFL guy. We all know he's an NFL guy. Talking about Ryland Kennedy.
Because you're not, we're not expecting Daniel Lyons or Deontay McCray or even Diamante Diggs, who didn't play much last year. Like, we did see them. We know what they look like. You're not expecting a huge jump from those guys. But these dudes we haven't seen before. And then, if the Desir twins take a step, if Kevin Wynn becomes the guy, like now you just, again, all of this, as I've been saying for 3 weeks now, is all based on where I was in December. You start to feel a little bit better.
I'll just say that I'm going to pepper you guys incessantly with questions about the defense, because I'm with Corey. I don't see it right now. Doesn't mean it can't happen. I think the biggest question marks are on defense. I understand where somebody might say, well, Jeff, they brought in a quarterback that not many people wanted. They've got a very good wide receiver. Question marks at the other guys. Maybe they continue to take steps forward. Maybe the new guys make an impact. The 5 new guys on the offensive line.
Good running back room.
But, the people have questions about that. But I'm oddly more confident that group will be serviceable or above. I'm less confident that the defense will be, and it's not about coaching. It's just about bodies, about players, about talent, and about depth. And that's what I worry about. I don't worry about the safeties. I think the safeties are going to be really good. I always thought that. But I do worry about the depth of the defensive line, and I worry about pass rush. And so if you don't have that and you don't have depth on the defensive line, you're going to get beat up. You're going to lose games.
He did mention Barker and said Barker, like the way he talked about Barker was like, whoo, like he's taking another step. Yeah. But he's taking another step from what he was. He didn't come out and say he's an NFL first-round pick.
He needs that guy badly because let's just put it this way. That would have been a guy, first of all, just to look at him, and he's physical, very physical. But when you think about it, he would have been a guy that would have been grouped with the people that he's constantly alluding to that were a headache for him to coach last year. Because Barker was a guy who's off the field, playing video games, besmirching the program and the coaches. So I can't imagine he had a great attitude last year, but he's a very good player. So you need him on board.
But what's interesting about that is I don't think Barker's a guy that was a problem. but I think he didn't know how to fix what was going on.
He
And
commented on the
because
problem
that's what
publicly.
Barker was the one
Which was a problem.
What he was venting about was that my teammates don't care. They just care about money. Like they're not in this for the same reasons we are. And he was kind of venting about that. And I think the conversation from Tony White, Mike Norvell, and the staff was, all right, dude, come back and be the solution.
Be the reason that,
And so, but he also has to be that kind of player. And the fact that they're playing him at Rover, which is that key position, it's basically the captain of the defense.
I think he can be very good there.
Yeah, he's got the physical tools,
yes,
no question.
Yeah, and he's got the mental. He's got an attitude about him.
What we didn't see a lot from him, I felt like earlier in his career, was just the killer instinct to make the play. Like he was always in position, but didn't intercept the pass.
They're lacking. They've been lacking guys like that. Period.
Right.
That's been very frustrating.
And how do you dial in? Are you just born with a Greg Reed mentality? Is Greg Reed just born?
That's confidence. That's you.
But he got beat a lot when he was here. But I'm saying every time the ball was in the air, whether it was a punt or a pass, he's like, that's my ball. I'm going to get it. Now, he didn't always get it, but he just attacked the thing.
Greg was an elite athlete. He was undersized, obviously, but he was an elite athlete. I got to imagine he was frequently the best player on the field in any game he ever played growing up. And I imagine
wouldn't that be most of these guys?
Probably, but it's a little different to be making plays at safety. It'd be interesting to see because you're the last line of defense. A lot of times you are even help over the top. Plus, you have to be physical near the line of scrimmage.
Corner, you can take a little more. You can take some more risks because you got help behind you.
From a personality standpoint, though, Greg Reed also, I think he's the dude that if he ever did get beat up, he'd talk the next time. Like he's not backing down from anybody, so he's got that in him. Plus, he had unbelievable ball skills. I mean, there's a difference between being a football player and then being a ball skill athlete, that kind of guy, like a super. Yeah. So Greg Reed's different, but Barker, I do think
does he have any eligibility left, Greg Reed? Because he only used 3 here.
I don't think he does.
I feel like you could sue someone and get him one last year.
These days.
That's what I'm saying.
You think he'd be a help at this point?
Would he be 38? Yes, to catch a punt.
I oddly still have his number in my phone.
Ask him if he's got any eligibility left.
You want me to text him and see if it's still the same
because
number?
I know he'd go catch punts even now. I have no idea what kind of shape he's in.
Oh, he would catch him.
Yeah, he'd go get him.
He might even make a play.
He'd go get him.
Yeah,
apparently Jason Lopez is a guy they have back there catching punts.
Man, I'm going to love this Lopez kid. He gets mentioned every single day, and he's going to catch punts. They're not going to just go bounding 35 yards down the field while we sit helplessly wondering when it is they're going to teach somebody to catch those.
Apparently.
God almighty, that was so bad for so long.
You have a new special teams coordinator, and you also have a new punt returns coach because David Johnson was the one that handled the punt returns because he had the squirt gun. I don't know if he passed that down, if he left it in the office for the next guy. I don't know if we should ask that.
When we see him again.
When he's going to talk on Thursday.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll ask Nick to ask him because we'll be busy. We'll be at the golf tournament.
That's right.
Yeah.
You guys ready to swing it?
But Nick can ask him, hey, did David Johnson leave you his Super Soaker?
Or did you have to go buy one from Walmart? $30.
I wondered, of the many criticisms I've had of the last 2 years and the way the seasons have played out and the coaches, I've wondered how it was that at some point Mike didn't say, why don't we catch the ball on punts? He could have asked, a number of guys, like, we're still not catching them, fellas.
I had a theory. My theory was that John Pabuchis was so worried about them muffing it that he would tell them, just don't muff.
If you're not comfortable at all, run away.
Because, you're talking about years and years and years, different multiple different punt returners, and they all did the same crap.
That's actually good advice.
Who probably wasn't listening
but
to
it's
anybody.
A good way to live if you're like a middle school kid and there's a situation you're in where you're not 100% comfortable.
Yeah.
Just
don't
run
persevere.
away.
Don't persevere. Don't overcome.
Run away.
Run.
Yeah, run away because you don't know what that person wants.
It could have been on a sign for special teams in their meeting rooms.
Yeah.
When in doubt,
run away.
Run away from it. Yeah. Seminole Headlines 93.3. Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
2026 is the year you launch your business, the year you transform into an entrepreneur, a founder, your own boss. One powerful move puts your future firmly in your hands, starting a business with Shopify. Maybe you've got an idea you can't shake, a store you've already designed in your head. With Shopify, 2026 is when you finally make it happen. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs, including Seminole Headlines, have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Shopify gives you all the tools to easily build your dream store. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates that you can customize to match your brand. Setup is fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines. Marketing is built in too. Create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. As you grow, Shopify grows with you. Handle more orders, expand to new markets, and do it all from the same dashboard. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/warchant. Go to shopify.com/warchant. That's shopify.com/warchant. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barano Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hey, it's Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. If you work hard to serve our community, whether you're a teacher, a nurse, firefighter, police officer, or first responder, or even a city or county employee, I've got some great news for you. Florida's Hometown Heroes program can help you buy a home with down payment and closing cost assistance up to $35,000, depending on where you live and work. It's a way to say thank you to the people that keep Florida running, and I'm proud to help local heroes take advantage of it every day. Don't assume you don't qualify. Let's find out together. I'll walk you through the process, show you how to combine these benefits with the right mortgage plan, and help you make that dream of homeownership a reality. Let's get started. You can reach me at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. I'm Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage, helping our hometown heroes find their way home.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live.
Rolling on, boys, and I got to say, I'm curious. Corey, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. Ira and I talked about it at length yesterday on the Jeff Cameron Show. Still rolling.
Okay, good.
Still rolling. So where were you? Were you at the stadium over the weekend, or were you out of town? You were out of town.
I was there. He was there.
When Miles went down, yeah, I was there.
I didn't get your reaction, so I was curious. I mean, obviously, it's going to be very similar to the rest of Seminole Nation, which was, oh, there's the season.
Yeah.
And you hate it for the kid, obviously. Good to hear the news for those who haven't, that the surgery went well and he's expected to make a full recovery. But he's done for this year and probably done as a Seminole, I would think, which is unfortunate. But your thoughts as to the maneuvering of a lineup now, which suddenly looks awfully light.
Yeah, man. I mean, you lost. I just added it up. He's produced. What did they play? 25 games, maybe 26.
Maybe a little more over that.
36 runs he scored, 33 RBIs. It's 70 runs in 26 games he's produced.
He's a third of the home runs.
You're not. His slugging was 960. His on base was 570. I mean, these are video game numbers. They're JD Drew-esque, honestly, not the batting average, but in their steals, but everything else is JD Buster-esque. And there's no way to replace anything like that. So I don't know. I don't know what they do. They moved Putnam to first. He needs to start hitting home runs, or he just needs to start hitting home runs. That's what he's here for. But I don't know where else you find this offense.
Well, you won't find anything that will resemble the power that he has, but I do think they're going to have to find a way to get Frazier back out there. I know he was in the doghouse, but he was brought in to play. I think you got to play him. I think you're going to have to find a way to get Chase Williams out there, who you hope can find it, because you're going to have to win in different ways.
It's weird. Was he hurt? Did Chase Williams? Because on Friday he had a big hit. I know he struck out 3 times, but he had a bit. They only had a few. He had a big hit to help win that game. And on Saturday he had a couple other hits. He stole a base.
Didn't he misplay some balls?
He dove and missed one. And
he
what I wonder if he got hurt or not was when he tried to save a home run. He went over to try to scale the wall for a home run and went really high up above it. And I don't know if he did something, because it doesn't make sense if you lose that kind of power.
You got to get him in the lineup.
You've got to have some speed. You got to have something. If you're not going to replace Bailey's power, go find some offense with a guy that can steal 3 bases.
You're going to manufacture runs is what you're going to do. And you have to hope, like how some of the guys that aren't hitting, that have shown in the past that they can hit, that they will. I don't know what you do beyond that. You have to hope like hell that your Friday, Saturday guys just dominate.
Too. I mean, you got to have better from Beard, and you got to have better from Moore.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Mendez, Beard have to be dominant, and you hope like you get the best version of Moore. Moore just couldn't locate his secondary pitches.
And he had some weird luck. I mean, there's a couple they had the shift on and like a little grounder to second becomes a base hit. I mean, it's just like weird stuff. It wasn't like he got shelled.
Yeah, he couldn't locate a breaking ball, and they just sat on the fastball at that point. But he usually can, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, and it was such a weird day. I mean, they were. Link wouldn't blame it on the after effects emotionally of losing Miles, but I mean, you just have to think.
The ball hanging over the program.
Yeah. So
sure.
I was thinking about this, and there's no way that I would ever. Well, I'm about to, but I certainly can't question what Link has done with this program and the way he sees this sport and how he manages a team, because he's excellent at it. He's better at that than I've been at anything. But I wasn't a fan of him not talking after the game, after Saturday's game. They won. It was 12-11. I don't know if it's like I got a race to get to the hospital.
I think he went straight to the hospital.
But it's like I don't know that message that you're sending. That, like, look, it wasn't a tragedy.
It wasn't a tragedy.
The young man is alive, and you've got to understand that your baseball team still has a chance to be really good. I don't know what that kind of message is.
You think they care about whether he talked to us?
I don't. I think the fans do, and I think I wonder where his headspace was. That
same place ours is. The season's over.
Right, and I don't like that. That's the vibe
don't
I got
convey
from
that, but I understand.
But when you're not talking after, like Norvell talked after Jordan Travis got hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know the difference.
I'm not saying
it was just an odd choice.
But I don't know that it.
But I don't know if he felt like he wasn't going to be able to talk about it without being very emotional. I get any reason, it's fine. I've done this a long time. I've never had a coach not talk after a win because of an injury that a star player had. So that was and then the next day they came out and were horrible for 7 innings. I don't know if there's an impact or a correlation. It was such a devastating blow because of who it was. Like
and the fact that it happened in the middle of the field.
Yeah, everybody saw it. Yeah, it was 15 minutes of watching him on this. It was Jordan Travis at midfield,
and then you have somebody falling out in the stands.
That was another 15 minutes.
And by the way, Jordan Travis was there. I was like, man, of all the luck, man, that's terrible to see that. I mean,
and Bailey's a local kid, he's like a Marvel hero, man.
He's larger than life.
He is, man, and he's apparently a really great kid, a good teammate. And the family is too. And again, he grew up in Knoll.
Yeah, he's beloved.
He's devastated.
No doubt.
Much like Jordan Travis grew up in Knoll and was beloved, and then that happens in the middle of the field. I get it, man. It was an absolute gut punch.
I felt the collective gut punch.
Yeah, I've never been in a stadium more quiet.
The fans are. I mean, this is the amount of text on my Knoll threads that I have from other people that went to school there that are all like, we all commiserate and celebrate together, and they all were like, really? I mean, okay, like, and without being cruel, they're like, it had to be Miles Bailey. I'm like, I know we probably can't say another name, but I get your point. Yeah, and you're just like, yeah, right, yeah. Of all,
it's also fun to watch.
Well,
just
he's an elite player.
He's a joy to watch, man. When he hits the ball, it takes your breath away. How far and hard it goes. It's incredible, and it really sucks that we'll probably never get to see him play here in person again.
We probably won't. I would say this though. They put themselves in a really good position to withstand this for now, which is, and you're probably going to be limping, but you can find a way to navigate this to the finish line and be a top 16 seed. I don't think they can be a top 8 seed, but I think they could maybe hang on to a top, because they can pitch, Corey.
Yeah, I know.
And if
the
they
schedule's about to be daunting.
Well, no, this is going to be a bumpy ride, but I'm saying, like, if Cal decides to ever hit, if you get power from Putnam again, and
or Carnes,
if you get Sheffield going again, Paulino continues.
You've got a couple of guys that, look, none of them can replace what they just lost, but you can still be formidable. Nobody's going to pick this team to win the College World Series now. Not that you probably would have before, but you certainly wouldn't now. But you do want to get something out of this year. It's developmental for some of the younger guys, and you still have a chance to be a good team that perhaps hosts and has a shot to get to Omaha. I think that's, obviously the goal would be to try to host a regional and be here and play meaningful baseball games in the postseason.
It'll be interesting to see how the guys respond. And Sunday, I can't take anything away from Sunday. I think we all agree. I mean, it was just such a weird situation. And then, Link,
it's like going to a funeral.
Really,
nobody wanted to be there.
And Link said, and then what compounded it was a big recruiting weekend for them. So they had a bunch of recruits in Sunday that they were there for Sunday morning. So he's having during some of the pregame stuff, he's having to entertain recruits and probably answer all their questions about Miles Bailey and all that. And then meanwhile, the team's getting ready. And so just kind of a weird situation. They go on the road today. They're going to be at Stetson tonight. I'm curious how they respond because, they do have some older dudes. It's not a young team. It would be one thing if you had a ton of freshmen and sophomores and Miles Bailey is like your leader, superstar. You have a bunch of dudes who played a lot of college baseball. So that you'd like to think that the Dowds and some of those guys, you can kind of lean on them.
I would also like to add, I'm not trying to be callous. It is very commendable the Link was that devastated by it. Like he is not just a robot. They're like, okay, now I got to figure out who's going to play next. Like that is something that, because I saw him come out of the dugout. I watched his reaction because I didn't even know what was going on, honestly. I was like, Miles, get your foot on the bag. Like the guy still got the tag on you. And because the Duke guy's going challenge it. I tagged him. He took his foot. And then I saw Link come out of the dugout, saw what he saw, and immediately threw his hands up and did this, and then composed himself almost immediately and walked out there and talked to him. So he was devastated. And it was 30 minutes, it was 25 minutes after it had happened. And you also had the thing in the stands. So it's very, very commendable. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't know that it had an impact. I do know that Sunday game was going to be very hard, but he's got to have to get extremely creative. And I'm talking about
extremely creative.
Hunter Carnes at first, Shamalia at first, Sheffield and Paulino in the lineup together. Maybe Paulino plays the first.
They tried to play Sheffield at second in camp. It's the position they
it's
thought
not like Putnam's dialing it in there either way.
No, I mean, you got to get, then that's just hoping that Sheffield will continue to hit. He hasn't exactly been scorching the ball in the last
but he's a guy that can make contact. I think that was more just like a slump. Bavaro to me and Dalam Malir, they look overmatched sometimes. I don't think Sheffield's ever overmatched. And also you just need him to get at bats, even if this season is a wash.
I'm going to guess by season's end, just a projection that Cal's at third.
Yeah.
And maybe Sheffield's at second. And because I just don't think Bavaro's going to keep hitting. And I hope he does. Hope he proves me wrong. He's proven a lot of people wrong. Nobody thought he'd be out there at this point.
Well, he's not. You say keep hitting.
Well,
he has not hit in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I know you're throwing out ideas. You want them to be creative. But from what I understand, like some of those guys have never played first, they're not just going to throw them out midseason.
In Moneyball, they make it pretty clear it's not that hard to play first base.
Putnam and Paulino apparently are the two guguys that are options at first base.
Paulino? That's perfect.
Yeah,
put Paulino, that's fine. Keep his bat in the lineup and put Putnam at second, and then you have Paulino and Dowd are your two best hitters.
And put Cal at third.
Cal at third, and do what you got to do at short, and then you also have Sheffield.
Frazier is what you're going to do at short. I don't know why they're waiting on that. They need to do that now. I mean, look, that guy was brought in to hit. He can hit. He's thought of.
So he's definitely healthy now.
He's healthy. He's 100% healthy. So
he's also a lefty bat.
I think you're going to have to probably play him now again. I mean, we have eyes. Clearly, he did something to upset them. I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is.
He was definitely in the doghouse, and he was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt and in the doghouse, and now he's not hurt. I guess still in the doghouse because you ended up having, you had a weird lineup out there on Sunday with Fisher. It's just, and the other guy that could have been an answer at short is still hurt. And I don't know when he'll be coming back. Estes is not.
Do y'all really not think that even with it's a dislocated ankle? It's his
He
right
ain't coming
foot.
back.
Coming
brother.
back.
Just put all your weight on your left foot, big dog.
I mean, this season.
Tomorrow he could be in Virginia,
What
man.
a shocker.
How much does he need his front foot for?
Did you see the natural?
I have.
My guy had a
He had a stab. Was it a bullet? No, it was a bullet wound.
He was gashed.
Yeah.
He was bleeding.
He was bleeding. Yeah.
Yeah.
From having been shot.
Yeah. And then you had shilling on the mount, blood on his sock.
Bloody
I mean,
socks.
People come back. People come back all the time.
That's right.
I mean, this is simple. And modern medicine
Miles,
with
what are we
cortisone
doing?
shots.
You got to buck up, soldier.
It just tell him, look,
Corey's got you starting this weekend against Virginia.
We're not legging out any doubles.
This is
if
the same
it doesn't
show.
go over the
Station
fence,
to
stay at
station,
first.
Miles.
Yep.
This is the same show where we make fun of our dead parents.
Yeah. So listen, it's what
anybody
it
that's
is.
offended.
No, well then,
Hopefully
F them
not.
if they're offended. Seminole headlines. 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
The Gadsden County Sheriff's Office has released new details in a death investigation that began Thursday afternoon following the discovery of a body. Sheriff Morris Young said the investigation started around 1 p.m. after a hiker discovered a body at the Iron Bridge boat landing. The victim has been identified as Joshua Grant. Grant's death was due to a non-disclosed medical condition, according to Sheriff Young, and no foul play is suspected. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement assisted in the investigation. About a week after Governor Brian Kemp signed legislation to suspend Georgia's gas tax for 60 days, the state's top legal authority is threatening to prosecute businesses that don't comply. Any gas station that does not deduct the gas tax from its prices will be investigated and potentially brought to court. Government officials suspended the gas tax as the war in Iran continues to drive up oil prices worldwide. This is Rachel Anay with the Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with highs around 83. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies with fog in spots tonight. Lows level off around 63. Slight chance for storms and foggy early tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 84. Partly cloudy. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 80 degrees.
Craving something different? Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by classically trained Chef Martín himself. It's not just food. It's a trip to Peru without the plane ticket. Swing by Café de Martín today and taste the tradition. Café de Martín. Authentic Peruvian. Right around the corner.
On the front lines, fighting the insanity of the woke, it's Matt and Brett Oster with America in View.
Matt, Florida has become the world leader for freedom, and I love being in the studio with you every week where we are reinforcing the conservative movement with truth, the Constitution, and a little redneck common sense. We're waking the woke.
That's right, Brett. We enjoy talking politics and what's going on in the world. We're bringing our take on the issues, doing our best to fight for freedom.
So tune in every Friday.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show.
That said, boys, I do want to celebrate Tavello, who will be out there with us on Thursday. Maurice doing the drive again this year on 18, and so we appreciate him, and we appreciate Tavello, and we say get you one while you're out there. Last year, if you recall, they had a variety of Tavellos that were out there. I have not asked Maurice what he's bringing out there this Thursday.
Is Register's going to be out there?
I don't think so.
It doesn't matter. Tavello is.
I mean, they're on board with us, but I don't think that.
Ben has played in it before. I don't know if he is this year.
I don't know if he is or not. I haven't looked at.
And what time does that start?
8 a.m. baby, bright and early.
That's
the
when
way you like it.
That's when the shotgun goes off. Is 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Keith Cottrell's playing with us, and I texted him. He asked
Keith's a 5 a.m. kind of guy. He
Well,
probably thinks it's late in the day.
That's the thing. He asked
Yeah.
what time, and I started to say 8 a.m. Unfortunately, and I'm like, oh no, he's probably
he's been up. He's a grown up.
midday.
Yeah, he's up like the rest of us. You've been up for hours by then. This guy though, ooh, wipe the cobwebs, baby.
I'm
Let's
gonna try.
go. Get out there.
I probably won't be playing well until the turn.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
when I'll
yeah.
get.
That's
That's when
your
I'll get
normal
going.
wake-up time.
Yeah,
Hit you.
That's what, we expect that though. We know we've already got to get that figured in.
And I'm not I'm not ashamed of this. I don't care. I've got a bit of I've got a shoulder injury. I'm playing from the fronts. We don't call them the ladies.
We call them the fronts.
We call them the fronts, and I'm playing from the fronts because I want to enjoy my afternoon and my
Luckily,
morning.
you're not allowed to win anyhow, so it wouldn't matter.
And
we can't count your score.
Trust
as a
me,
grown
I've
man playing from the front tee.
I've played from the fronts. It doesn't matter. It's not like I'm shooting 61.
The only thing is you're guaranteed of clearing them.
Yeah,
you're guaranteed of clearing them.
Correct, and I don't have to do that.
Yeah, you don't
but
have to
I'm
do
going
the
to do
thing.
it. I don't care. It's fun. I don't like being 70 yards behind everyone. I can't hit the ball more than 160 yards anyway.
You know, I remember many moons ago, Ira will remember because he was there too. We had a wonderful weekend together out on the beach.
Yeah, and I had to throw
families
underhand.
were all there. We were all there. Now, it seems like it might have been about 15 years ago.
Complaining about his shoulder?
And he was talking about how god-awful his shoulder injury
Couldn't
was
throw
and
a
the
football.
need for surgery
We're-
and everything.
we're
Here we
playing-
sit all these years later with having lost weight, working
Yeah.
out all the time, shoulder still ass sorry.
Yep.
When are we going to have the surgery, big man?
No chance.
Let's go.
Don't need it. What am I
Let's
going to
go.
be? Am I going to be the relief pitcher for the
It's
Braves next week? I don't need
ridiculous walking
surgery.
around with no working arms. Let's go.
Fine.
There's nothing more fun than playing catch with football with Corey, and he's underhanding everything.
But spirals,
Yeah.
spirals. I'm
Yeah,
getting.
you got the spin down,
and
buddy.
I did throw. I don't pitch to Brady anymore, but when I did, I would do overhand to Brady. He wasn't getting a lot out of it there at the end because
No.
I couldn't put any pace on it at all.
52.
He's like, I can't time it. I can't time this.
I'm just saying, it was the same problem all those years ago.
But anyway, and I want to point that out. I watched Bryson DeChambeau had a golf thing with Steph Curry, like a video where they were trying to break 60 or 50 or something. And they did. Steph Curry, as you can imagine, is
Pretty good
awesome
golfer.
at golf.
He can
It's
play
unbelievable. He took every shot. Their first 12 shots were all Steph Curry shots,
Mhm.
and they were playing best ball with Bryson DeChambeau. Anyway, unbelievable.
He's got some hand talent.
And DeChambeau was telling him as he encourages all golfers at any level to play from the fronts at least once a month because you
Well,
learn how to score, you get some
Yeah, no,
confidence,
you work on your irons,
You-
absolutely.
all that stuff.
And,
yeah,
and all scoring usually is once you learn how to hit a ball, it's 150 in. So yeah,
so just saying.
Corey saw that and was like,
I got Bryson and
He's
Steph
like,
on my side.
I like Steph.
Yeah, I got so Ira, you and I would encourage you to do it too.
Yeah,
we need to
we'll
try to
see.
score. We have no chance of winning
Why
anything.
don't you just go place it on the green, Corey? Just go
should.
place it up there, buddy. and See
Still
if you
wouldn't
can
be-
make a few
Still
putts.
wouldn't win your tournament because somebody's gonna be 41 under.
Dude, my brother, when I was a kid, he would take me golfing, and he's 6 years older than me. And we would go play. I was like 11, and he's 17, 18. And if I just like move my ball from behind a tree, he'd be like, well, that's a strike. I'm like, yo, man,
I'm not ready to play in the US
this is
Open.
not Sunday in Augusta.
I'm not going to break my hand on the roots. We're not.
Rule follower.
We're not doing all.
Oh, and
this.
I'm not hitting out of the sand either. That's another thing.
Corey.
That's another rule I have.
Sand doesn't apply to Corey.
But I
You
kicked
won't-
that out.
You won't do it.
No,
I can show you. Now listen,
What
I'm
about
not
the
trying to
rough?
act like I know everything about golf. I don't. But I can show you a
I
tip
know
out
I'm
of the
supposed to hit.
sand.
I'm supposed to hit behind the ball.
But,
and
but this works, buddy.
Tip.
You'll be all right.
it's still. I'm not gonna be in the sand. I'm gonna be
no,
over
because
it.
you're going to place it on the
I'm gonna
green.
be
There's
over
no
it.
chance. No chance.
Can't wait.
Hey, so do we have an idea of who it is? Because Luke was going to be playing in the tournament. He can't now because he's a businessman. He's got to be there making deals at the Final Four. And I'm kind of curious what we think the plan is. You guys, either of you got a handle on how aggressive we're going to get the three best transfers in all college basketball?
I am excited to see
I
if
am
they get
excited
at least
too.
like one
yeah.
legitimate player in a
Stud.
Power Four kind of team, because that's never happened here. I mean, since the portal, since Tony Douglas, really.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
even like those few years where Leonard was maybe paying or not paying players.
No.
Well,
He never did that.
Whether or not they got their money,
You're
You're talking about 3 years ago,
Yeah.
not like the not like the Trent Forrest.
No,
days.
exactly. And just the transfer portal guys that they would get, and certainly the guys Luke got were kind of like that next tier guys that, production guys,
sure.
but not. I wonder if they're going to be in the market for some, and I think they may be attractive.
They had
to
real
schools
momentum
like
at the end of the year because their accomplishments began to get recognized. I remember hearing on a national show, somebody were like, man, if Florida State had just started a little better, you wouldn't want to, people were starting to talk about it. So I know in the basketball world, there may be a couple of those kinds of players who are like, well, I mean, they want to get paid, and he's been able to put together some money packages that we didn't think he'd be able to do. But some of these better players that you're talking about, that would be a tough ask. I wonder if he can finagle it.
You got to have to get like this. I just saw there was a kid in every hour.
I'm not saying like the boozers,
right?
Not, but just like
I don't want that loser.
Yeah, man, he's just giving tournament games away.
Giving games away in historic fashion.
The other, I'll take the taller
loser,
brother. I'll take Is it Cam? Is Cam the good one?
What if Luke just called up Carlos and was like, "Hey,
listen, it's
Carlos,
going to be tough to get out from under that shadow of that." Yeah.
Can we just have Cam? What would it cost to just get Cam?
You call and say, look, man, it's going to be tough for Is it Caden? Is the guard?
Sounds right.
Right. The other one. He's also in a bunch of commercials, by the way. So again,
With
not
him,
hard to feel. It's hard to feel too sorry for him with his brother. You call and say, look, Caden's going to have a tough time going back to Duke after that. Obviously, it's going to be a stink on him for a while.
Yeah,
it's always going to be remembered. We'll take him. He can come to Florida State. We got a home for him.
Now, he may not play end of game situations.
No, but also gonna have to bring his brother. If he brings his brother, we got a place for Caden, because I don't know that John Shire's going to welcome him back.
Yeah.
What if you were Duke? Seriously, what would you offer Cam Boozer to stay? Is there a number? Because it's not. I mean,
$4 million.
What's he going to make? What do you make as a rookie?
More than that?
I know, but like, what would you? What would it be worth? Would it be worth $20 million?
No.
What would it be worth?
$20 million.
No, not for a basketball player.
No.
What would it be worth?
$20
I don't know.
I wonder if there's.
Because clearly having him doesn't guarantee a championship.
That's true. That's fair, especially if his brother's along.
His brother actually had a really good tournament.
I know, he's good. It's just ridiculous.
Man,
what in the world?
When we were watching that, I was just in awe that it happened.
Do you know Wake Up was recorded? Did you listen to Wake Up Warchant?
Of course he did.
I know you usually listen to it. You're a faithful listener.
I missed this week's though. I missed it.
So on Monday morning, I was listening to it. They were recording during the show, and I hear
we were recording during that game.
During the game, excuse me.
Why?
And
just watch the game.
Well, it was a 20-point game when we started recording.
Fair enough.
So you hear Corey go, "All right, hold on one second. I need to see this play." And then
did you drop an F-bomb? Because I was in shock.
Got to hear him. It was like watching those reaction videos on YouTube. Like he just loses his mind. He's like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
Just
that he because if he just gets the pass around one of those, if he
just holds on to the ball,
then he's going to get fouled.
Well, I said yesterday on Jeff's show he could have done the Bobby Knight challenge.
Throwing it straight up in the air.
How about a sky hook towards the back?
Would have been the way.
Well, if you throw it up, there's still a chance they could swat that down to a sky hook. They're not getting. It's going to be in the air forever.
He could have turned away from him,
stuck his tongue out, and just thrown it straight up into the air and raised
because
his arms.
UConn had made a mistake by not fouling.
Well,
they had let 7
mistakes
seconds
by not fouling. They were letting all the clock run out. They actually were rewarded for doing something stupid.
Everything they did was wrong, but it still worked out. And then that guy gets to celebrate.
Yeah. No.
So I was having a hard time with it, Corey.
So it's $10 million. It looks like they get Boozer will get around $10 to $11 million next year.
You could make an offer.
You could, but again, I don't. He also probably wants to get that clock ticking so he can make a second contract, which was where the real money is. He's probably not coming back. But I would say this about Florida State, because this is what I was going to say. I saw on every 30 minutes there's another portal kid that comes and there was a kid from Troy that averaged it was a guard that averaged 15 points and 10 rebounds a game. I'm like, well, that's not, every time I see somebody, I'm like, and I've never heard of any of these people. But
I like that kid.
Yeah, it's like, well, he averaged 14 a game, Luke, get him. This kid shot. He was the second leading 3-point shooter in the country from somewhere up north. Go get him. But it's like, well, Kentucky might want him, or Carolina might want those guys.
Also, I want some size in the front court. So I'm not as concerned about guard. I know we got a 7-foot center coming in, but he's a freshman. So I want some experienced, big-bodied dudes that are going to beat you up on the glass.
That'd be nice.
They got house this year on the glass.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that change with some experience.
Wiggins did a lot of good things for them. He was probably their most consistent shooter. But he was not a legitimate front court rebounder, ACC. He just didn't. He wasn't interested in. Didn't do it. No. So in hindsight, I wonder if that was a mistake, just because even though he was shot like you wanted him to shoot, he couldn't give you what you needed on the defensive glass. So they have to figure out how they're going to recruit from the portal.
They
and what
also,
they need.
he originally thought they were going to get the Russian center, but they couldn't get him into school. And then the other backup center, Muhammad, that they brought in, ended up being pretty limited. So, just didn't work out. He definitely wants to get some more size. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, has to, because they got, when you face those better teams, and he likes to schedule all of them,
Well,
Yeah.
and
All the better teams.
Next year it'll be UConn, Florida, obviously Florida again.
I would think you're not going to get a skilled big man without spending a ton of money, but you can find a Ryan Reed type. I would think.
Somebody to beat your ass and get a rebound.
Yeah.
You know, the old
May
Leonard
rest in
Hamilton,
peace,
the old Leonard Hamilton way, where he'd get non-skilled big men, but they would alter a
Yeah,
ton
but
of
he
shots
likes-
and they would rebound.
He likes his skilled big men.
No.
That's what he wants to
But
have.
I'm saying, well, again, there's a cost to that.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
that's the thing. Like,
But you can't. But to the point, you'd rather have a non-skilled or less than skilled big man
You gotta have
than just
somebody.
all skilled wings. You know, you've got to have.
But I think, again, when you look back, I know they didn't win the game, but Florida State played better offense. Duke's defense is legit. Like they're past tense now, everybody. They don't have any more games to play.
No.
That was the best defense in the country. And UConn struggled with them mightily until their run in the second half. Everybody did.
By the way,
but Florida State didn't either time they played them.
Yeah.
The only redeeming thing about UConn, as much as I hate Danny Hurley, their big man is. I love watching that guy.
He's
play.
a good player.
I mean, he is.
Terrace
phenomenal.
Reed. Yeah, he's a
my
post
God.
play. He's from the 80s.
Phenomenal.
Just give me the
Like a
ball. I'm
legit
going to dig
post
in.
player,
I'm going to
Love
But nobody
that
knows how to
dude.
defend that either because they're not used to it.
I love that guy. But
Did
Danny
we
Hurley.
all think? I know Ira did. I talked about it yesterday. Corey, as soon as the kid who retrieved the ball is the one who made the shot.
Yeah.
When he got it back, he's in rhythm. Like if you go back and watch it, and I remember thinking the way he catches that and just steps to shoot, you realize he's going to shoot.
It's. I bet
as
you in
soon as
practice,
it leaves his hands, it's good.
I bet you in practice that situation, if he can step into a three from that
He
distance,
makes it a lot.
Probably makes it 55%.
He's also, I know he's a
stud.
freshman, but he's supposed to be a draft pick. He's supposed to be a fringe lottery pick.
That wasn't like a miracle shot.
No,
I mean,
he's a
stepping
shooter.
into
He's
it.
a pure
But
shooter.
what was amazing about it is the guy he passed it to initially, Caravan, is their best player, best scorer. And
he
he'd been-
rightfully passed back because he didn't have a shot.
But he had been horrible all game, but he had just made the three.
Yes.
And it's like usually those guys, they're taking the last shot. This is my team. I'm not
it
passing it
tells
back
you
to
how
some
many
freshman.
times in practice he's seen that kid hit big shots.
I also think weirdly, I don't like saying this word when it comes to a Hurley team, but I don't think you can deny it. It's something about the culture there where you trust your teammate to take
not
that
giving him
shot.
credit for that.
Because that's your best player and it's his moment, it's his time,
Yeah, but
and
Corey,
he kicks it back out.
that just
Just
stems
smart basketball.
Well,
player.
it's when you're
That's part of the
recruiting-
culture. I
that's
mean,
fine.
Yeah, and
Well,
when you're
you got-
recruiting the best
you
players
got
in
the
the
best
country,
players, yeah.
that's what it is. I mean,
And-
I'm going to pass to the other McDonald's All-American that is on the roster.
But also, UConn couldn't do that last year against Florida. Couldn't make a shot like that last year. Florida had 5 miracle wins to win that national championship.
Well, think about
Clayton
actually, if you want to go all the way to this, Houston had no business being in that final game. They were down by 1,000 to Duke and then came back.
But then Houston had
because
Florida
Duke
on the
has
ropes.
choked twice.
Who else had Florida on the ropes? Auburn, some SEC team had Florida on the ropes in either the Elite Eight or the Final Four and choked that away.
Well, that kid at guard was
I
pretty
guess he
talented.
kind of he might have ripped it away more than they choked it
He
away.
kind of made every shot he
Dude,
took late in games.
when he would come to the left off of screen and
And
shoot
you'd be
the
like,
three,
forget
I mean,
about
it's
it.
just
You might as well
ridiculous.
punch him in the stomach.
Seriously,
I started to
clothesline
want
him.
to.
Yeah.
And if
Make
he
him think twice about going to his left and rising up.
and also he was springy. Even late in the year, he would get to the rim and like be right there and maneuver
Yeah,
his
there was
body.
a couple times he went down. There's the things Corey gets mad about. He looked like he was hurt, and then no, he's not. He's just going to come back and score 20
Paul
more
Pierce. Paul Pierce in it.
Well, who was our guy? Who was our guy here that I used to make fun of all the time?
Oh, it was XRM, wasn't it?
No,
Didn't
it was
XRM
the other
come
kid.
about a
Oh,
basketball player?
Yeah,
Oh,
our
the
guy.
guard, the shooting guard
Shooting
from
guard
Atlanta.
would always grab his
Malik
ankle.
Beasley.
No.
Well, he's from Atlanta.
Not him.
Why can we not think he got
the
hurt
shooter.
every game? He was ridiculous. He
Devin
always
Booker?
No.
come back
More
out and then he'd make
recently. I can't believe I can't think of his name.
MJ Walker.
MJ
Nailed
Walker.
it. Nailed it.
Yeah,
He's
you
from
wrote
Atlanta.
the
He
story.
is from Atlanta.
When Corey did the story about them winning the fictional account
Yeah.
during COVID of them winning the
had him
national
get
title,
hurt.
every game
he got in a fight with a mascot or he got a T-shirt gun to the face or something.
No,
yeah.
I made fun of him every week because he would drive me nuts. He was always writhing in pain. Then would come back out and hit 3 threes. I'm like, okay, you're not hurt at all. Stop doing that. Hour number 2, headliner questions coming your way. Hang in. Seminole Headlines, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV.
Injured? Call Basic Brooks and come back stronger. Offices, Tallahassee.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204. After a storm, portable generators are a helpful temporary solution until power can be restored. Remember, 20-20-20 to keep safe while using a generator. Keep your generator 20 feet away from your house. Wait 20 minutes for the generator to cool down before refueling. Purchase a $20 carbon monoxide detector to protect you and your family. For more tips on hurricane safety, check out the Hurricane Guide at floridadisaster.org/guide. This message is sponsored by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
All right, folks, if you're looking for a good excuse to play Seminole Legacy and feel good about it, I've got one for you. We're proud to be part of the Florida Institute for Child Welfare Golf Invitational coming up April the 13th at Seminole Legacy Golf Club here in Tallahassee. It's a Monday, which, let's be honest, is a perfect day to have a meeting on the course. Check-in starts at 8:30, shotgun at 10. They'll feed you, play a great track, free drinks, there's putting challenge, awards, silent auction, the whole kit and caboodle. It actually matters. The tournament supports education and training for child welfare workers across Florida, and part of the proceeds go right here locally to the Oasis Center for Women and Girls. So you're playing golf, but you're also doing some good. It's $200 for an individual, $750 for a foursome, so get your team together, grab your clients, or just come out and play. We're proud to sponsor it. I'd love to see some familiar faces out there. Tom Lang and myself will be playing as well, alongside PGA Pro Tom Shea and FSU Hall of Famer Jane Geddes. Come join us and have a good time for a great cause. Register at ficw.fsu.edu/golf. April the 13th, the first ever Florida Institute for Child Welfare Golf Tournament. We'll see you there.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com. BURCH orthodontics.com. Or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. You're listening to Seminole Headlines with Ira, Corey, and Jeff. Stay tuned for more headlines coming up next.
Every child deserves a chance to live their best life and celebrate every moment. When you support St. Jude, you help give kids with cancer around the world that chance. Together, we can save more lives. Finding cures, saving children. Visit stjude.org.
This is Real Talk 93.3. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Atlanta Braves today hosting the Athletics after a 4-0 shutout win over the A's yesterday. Jose Suarez for the Braves today, $1.56 favorite, 9 over the total at Truist Park. Shane McClanahan on the mound for the Rays today at American Family Field against the Brewers. Brandon Woodruff for Milwaukee, -136, 7.5 under the total. In college baseball, Florida State a $4.25 favorite over the Stetson Hatters. Stetson 3-1. Coming up in the PGA Tour this week, it's the Valero Texas Open at TPC San Antonio. Tommy Fleetwood is the 14-1 favorite. Score $500 in rewards at the G-Bank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/ethos.
ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, got to get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
You probably already know that Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is your one-stop destination for all pool maintenance needs, offering everything you need from chemicals, cleaners, vacuums, nets, and more. But that's not all. Pinch a Penny also carries a huge selection of premium hot springs hot tubs paired with easy financing options, making these luxury hot tubs affordable for everyone. And if you have an older hot tub and you're worried about the hassle of removing it, worry no more. Pinch a Penny will not only remove and haul away your old hot tub, but also offer a trade-in value for a credit towards your new one. So why wait? Visit Pinch a Penny's 12,000 square foot showroom today on Greer Road and discover how effortless and affordable owning a fantastic hot tub can be. Find out more at TallahasseeHotSpring.com. That's TallahasseeHotSpring.com.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, 93.3, Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV begins right now. Get to headliner questions momentarily. First, we thank Dr. Birch and Birch Orthodontics as she and her great staff doing the best work in the field, of course, but also supporting headlines now for like 16 years. It's been pretty amazing. It's amazing. I just made that up.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
I mean, she was supporting it.
Oh,
just not maybe
from afar.
financially
From afar.
supporting it. But yeah, Dr. Birch has always been a huge, very important people to us, cared for our kids, provided orthodontic work for our kids and a lot of our friends' kids, but also partner of the show and a huge FSU fan.
Big time.
I do need to check in with her and see how she's feeling about the maybe if she sensed the good vibes. Because I think she's had coaches, family members come into the practice from time to time. They're not official
I worry
sponsors.
about, like, I'm sure that the Miles Bailey injury probably really hit her hard.
Yeah.
It hit all of us hard. But that's a lot of Noles out there hurting today, guys. They're thinking that this program is cursed, like just in general.
Yeah.
I would say, like, James Tibbs didn't get hurt. Cam Smith didn't get hurt. Like, there's been a lot of people that have come through
Jamie
that
Arnold.
didn't get hurt. Jamie Arnold didn't get hurt. You think about that, man. That was a loaded team in 2024. It turned
Pretty
out.
good.
Yeah.
One check swing. But but Dr. Birch and her staff do tremendous work. If you have any orthodontic needs, you or your family, if kids need braces, Invisalign, all of that stuff, she offers free consultations. Her staff is awesome.
That is true.
Again, been very active on social media lately, putting a lot of things out on the interwebs. So check that out. Check out their feeds on Facebook and probably Instagram, I think. I don't know if she's doing much on Twitter, but they have information about going in, and they'll handle all your insurance and all that. And they also do just tremendous work. So go see Dr. Birch.
Without question. Rob says, compliment to you, Ira.
Oh, nice. That's the best. This is the best one.
About time.
He says he loved the question to Tony White regarding the defensive struggles after the Alabama game. What would be your way of saying it was because of the bull crap without saying it was because of the bull crap? Seemed it was asked but not answered.
Yeah, that's fair, because the question I basically was trying to get at was he talked about how we don't have any of the bull crap we had last year.
Yeah, he's made that point several times.
Yes, he has. And he likes these guys much more than he did
It's a word that doesn't get used a lot.
Bull crap.
People usually go all out with the S coming after it. They don't substitute the crap in there.
Very 1970s.
Yeah, it is.
There's two things about that are interesting. One is that Tony White will use profanities from time to time.
Yeah,
I like that about Tony.
So we like that too. So it is interesting that he chose to
No
refrain.
need to censor. No need.
Also, from an editor standpoint, Corey had bull crap as one word. And at first I thought to myself, I don't know, bull crap might be two words.
Bull crap's a noun. It's got to be one word.
Well, then I thought the other one is clearly one word.
Right.
So I went with one word.
Okay. Yeah. You don't know how to spell those things sometimes.
But it's not one I've never really encountered in a headline before, but we did on yesterday. But anyway, his point was that we don't have to deal with that. So my question was like, when did you realize you had that on your defense last year?
At what point were you beseeched by bull crap?
It's all over you.
You seemed to like these guys in camp, and then you went out and beat Alabama. Then you had the 2 joke games. So like, at what point did you realize, we've got some bull crap? And he said some words, but he didn't really acknowledge.
He said some words, some gibberish that he answered.
He did not address the question. So I am curious if he knew they had some of that lurking in the wings or not. But clearly there's some guys on this defense that they wanted gone that are now gone. Not all of them, some of them. And he likes these guys. The question is going to be, to what we talked about in the first hour, is are they talented enough?
Are they any good?
I do believe, at least till adversity hits, I do think they're going to play hard together. I think they're going to try. They're all those things which you want to see. We just don't know if they're good enough. We'll see.
Nathaniel Hornblower, my man. Well after midnight.
Mm-hmm. It was. I had to drive back last night. Yeah.
After midnight.
I didn't get in until like 12:45.
I like that Nathaniel.
He was up.
Puts it on Front Street.
He threw it out there. He's the first question, by the way, on here. Please tell me you just posted this while loitering in the parking lot of one of the many sketchy gas stations on the outskirts of Tallahassee.
No, are you crazy? I wouldn't do that unless I had a vest on.
It would have been a plea for help.
Yeah.
While I'm here, fellas, is there anything at all left for this baseball season? The best pure power hitter I have ever seen in the Garnet and Gold is gone, and I think he was the one player we couldn't afford to lose. It felt like we had another shot at a postseason run. Not a great shot, but I could see a potential path, and now I think it's totally gone, writes Nathaniel. He goes on to say, P.S. Jeff, I'm as bad as you are about refusing to part with FSU gear. I still have FSU football T-shirts and jackets from the early 90s, late 80s, banana yellow baseball hats, etc. Yeah, but you missed this, Corey. Ira and I were I will hold on to I have Florida State gear that dates back to when I was in school there and before. I have a shirt that I wore with my dad. I think it was 87, 88.
Do you ever wear it?
That shirt I don't wear.
I like to see if it still fits.
I don't know.
Would it be snug?
Too muscular.
It'd be pretty snug.
It's probably the
It'd
problem.
be like a cutoff.
Yeah, but
it's
but it was a sweet shirt. It was white with just the helmet, and it didn't say anything. It's just the helmet.
Okay.
It was gorgeous. I've never seen it before or since. I won't part with it. I don't know why. It sits in my
what
wife
would you
was like, why
do
you have that?
But what are you just going to throw it in the trash? That seems disrespectful.
Right, like when you got me a shirt and threw it in the trash.
I didn't throw it in the trash.
It just disappeared.
Intentionally. I was cleaning out my trunk and it went with it. I didn't know what was in there.
Yeah, all the things. Anyhow, so there are I have
seems
too many
disrespectful though. Honestly, if you have something from your childhood that means a lot to you, I get that you're not going to wear it anymore. And I get that nobody else wants it. And that when you die, somebody's going to do something with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would hurt your soul just a twinge to just dump it in the trash
and dump it. I don't want to do it.
I get it.
I have a pullover that I bought in New Orleans when it was the rematch with Florida because
Which one?
It was freezing. It was after the tie.
Okay.
And I was freezing to death. And I was like, oh man, because we were walking Bourbon Street. I was like, it's cold. And I found some, and it was an old school. It's beautiful. Now I do wear that sometimes. And that does still fit. So there you go.
I thought the question was about Miles Bailey and
it was about.
Well, he said he also didn't part. He, like Jeff, doesn't part.
Oh, I gotcha.
And then he just basically said he doesn't see a path.
Here, how about a silver lining here?
Okay,
so
let's hear
odds are, I'm going to go ahead and say it. They probably weren't going to win the College World Series this year.
So that was what I was going to say. Honestly, I was going to say, to me, they're both tragic. They're both awful. It's terrible. But Jordan Travis, I thought they could win the national title.
In hindsight, they absolutely could.
I didn't think this baseball team was going to win the national title.
I didn't either.
They're not enough. I think their best hitters are young, besides Dowd now. So maybe it sets up a run for next season.
It's a developmental year.
You get Paulie without any real pressure. Like you're not winning. You're not going to. If you go to Omaha, you're probably almost certainly not going to win it. And it
well,
gives
if you go to Omaha, we should celebrate the hell out of this team.
And
I mean, if they somehow get to Omaha with what they have left, I'm not trying to be an ass. I mean, honestly, that's not. They're missing the biggest part of who they are.
And it's not impossible. They could. They do have
sure
pitching.
They got pitching, yeah.
But I mean, he is a third of their offense, if more than that, probably.
He's a beast.
Again, the intentional walking is crazy. So you get Paulino, Sheffield, Stutzer. At bats that matter. They're pressure filled, but they're developmental at bats because it's like you
thrown into the fire. Sure.
And you maybe you manage a little different, knowing that the end result probably isn't going to be you dogpiling in Omaha. Because how could they when they just lost the best power hitter in the country?
The hard part is, and I think that's logical, and it's very pragmatic, and I'm with you.
But you don't want to give up on the season or give that message to the players either.
Well, he won't do that, but we don't have to abide by that. We're not coaching them. We can talk about what we see and what we think will happen. And we don't see a path for them to have a great season, meaning going to Omaha and winning it. But you do want to accomplish something. You have a second half of a season to play. You sit atop the ACC. You have put yourself in a position to play postseason home games. And if you're developing young players, you do want them in some pressure pack situations in the ACC tournament and maybe in a home regional.
Yeah, and you built a pitching rotation, a weekend rotation that's going to be as good as most of the other top 10, 12 teams in the country. Plus, you got Abraham out of the pen. So you don't want to waste that. You know, they have a lot to play for. Now the question is, how quickly I do think a lot of it's going to be mental and emotional. How quickly do guys realize, oh, wait a minute, we can't rely on what Miles could do. I mean, he bailed them out of so many games this year.
That's why they call him Bailey.
That is exactly why they call him.
Not his last name,
but
not even close.
But
he's
also
Smith, Miles Smith.
But he also him being in that lineup affected how everybody else got pitched to.
Yes, of course. It affected everything about who they were, man. That again, I felt terrible because I know it cast aspersions upon the group that played on Sunday. But when I saw that lineup card, I was like, "What is this soft?"
Yeah,
and the Duke pitcher did too because he came right at him.
And I love that Lincoln moved him up to the 2-hole. It's like get him more at bats. It's a lot harder to intentionally walk the number 2 hitter than the number 3 hitter. And also, but it doesn't matter. He changed the rules of the game. I was talking to this with Chavez on the podcast I do with him about like he was almost Bonds. Remember Barry Bonds was intentionally walked with the bases loaded one time. Yeah. It was the right move. They were up by 2.
Yeah.
They walked him. They won the game by 1. Smart. Him and Stan Musial, by the way, still the only 2 major leaguers to be intentionally walked with the bases loaded.
I thought Ruth.
No, get out of here with that. They probably didn't even know what an intentional walk was back then.
Buddy.
What's a pitch to Gehrig? Come on, this guy.
Intentional walks. Is the way I read the story.
Little trivia, by the way. That's where the numbers on the backs of jerseys came from. Was that Yankees lineup? That's why Ruth wore 3 and Gehrig wore 4 is because that's where they batted in the lineup.
That's correct.
And whoever their one hitter was, Tony Lazzari, maybe
lost to history. To history. Corey.
So, but anyway,
what's FSU's place kicker? Starting place kicker's name,
dude. Norvell said 3 names today that I'm like, who is that? I can't even transcribe that name because I don't know who that person is. Was that a Pinckney? That was one from Tony White. I'm like, who the hell is Pinckney? I don't know any of that. So
Al Pinkins.
There was a pit in the 7th inning of that game, the Saturday game. Florida State's up 8-7. It's 1st and 3rd, 1 out, and Miles Bailey is coming up. Nobody gets intentionally walked in that spot. You don't ever walk somebody to load the bases when the double play is already set up.
Of course,
it's left on left,
and not a speedy runner.
They intentionally walked him, and then they walked in 3 runs after that. That's how he impacted. And when he got hurt, he had just gotten to first base because he had been intentionally walked.
I mean, he led them. He led them.
Dick move to throw over to first. What do we do?
They thought
nobody's stealing nothing.
I think they thought it's a tie game.
No.
If he gets caught in a rundown, you steal home. You get to throw. You get to throw home.
He's not going to take everybody.
He might.
It's Corey.
You try to steal that run.
Corey,
I'm just saying.
This is nuts.
I'm just saying.
Anyhow.
But yeah, he led the team in hits.
I'd have thrown at Duke after that.
Home runs, slugging percentage, OPS, everything you could lead. And he had more walks than he had hits.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, sucks. I don't think we did anything to make people feel better about the rest of the season just now.
I will say this.
Come together, guys. Come together.
My pick to click moving forward is Hunter Carnes. I think it frees him up. He's got to play. I think his swing looks great. He hits the ball really hard. He has not lifted the ball at all, but he is stinging the ball when he hits it, and he might be ready to take off. Yeah. Hunter Carnes, let's go.
Can you get Hunter to talk to Cal?
Yes, Cal's do too, man. Get those two guys going, and you make up for Miles Bailey.
Jonathan says, somewhat jokingly, did the construction crews who built the football-only facility and upgraded Doak disturb an ancient Indian burial ground on campus? The timeline of recent tragedies seem to line up with the start of the projects. It's a toughie.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking the
wondering if
question.
we're cursed. Clint says, hey, guys, can you elaborate on the new partnership between Seminole Boosters and NOCAP Sports? And is this a viable revenue stream for our athletic programs? Thanks always, Glenn.
Yeah, it's actually called No Cap Sports, and it's interesting, man. It's an interesting
like no
development.
cap. Like I'm a big fan of yours. No cap. That thing, or like no salary cap.
I think it's more like no salary cap. Like there's no limit to what your players can make.
Yeah,
I think is what
like
they're
this
trying to
group
get.
already. Let's get
But
to
yeah,
it.
they do work for a lot of other schools. Florida State just signed up with them, and I'm working on a story about it.
Come on, no cap.
But yeah, it's a deal where if you're a business owner, and this is public PSA, public service announcement. If you're a business owner,
This is normally where Corey spends other people's money.
Yeah, sounds like Ira's about to.
Stepping in
This
here,
is,
yeah.
You're not really spending your money anyway. It's a consulting company. I don't know exactly the details, but there's certain sectors that they work in, and they'll work with your business. Say you own a business, they'll work with you. They do logistics, different things, and any savings that they save for you will go directly to
Paying
NIL
players?
for Florida State. Yeah. So it's a pretty cool. I mean, they've done it. It's not like this is a concept Florida State was sold on. Like they're doing it for other schools, and that it's been very successful. And FSU is one of the latest schools to jump on board. And so it is a legitimate way that they're going to be able to funnel money to the athletes.
Let's get to the fun one.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
No cap.
No cap.
No cap.
That's what you did there. Yeah.
Chris says, I love FSU. The only content I've consumed since the season ended has been Seminole headlines.
Oh,
I cannot
all right.
make myself care about why, because why do the details matter and how you end up between terrible and average? He's talking about football. Why invest when the climb is a treadmill? I'm sorry to be a bummer. It just sucks.
What setting is it on? It's on 3, an incline.
Yeah,
like
an incline of 5, and you're
we're
going
not
at
getting
2.
anywhere,
Yeah.
guys. Chris, I will say this, Chris, and thanks for sharing your feelings with us, and thanks for continuing to consume
Yeah,
headlines.
we appreciate that.
Your rut is the
You're
same.
not going to want
rut.
to be late to get back on that bandwagon, though. So if you hop on Warchant now, I'm sure we got to cut.
Do you think when he heard me talking about the vibes earlier?
You think
no,
was
he's
like,
just listening to headlines. He needs to
Yeah.
become a member of Warchant and start reading up on the spring
No,
practices.
I think he probably is.
I hope.
I think he probably
I hope.
is. I
Didn't
don't know
sound
that.
like it.
You know, I mean, the headlines thing. I get that's the right angle, Chris. I understand it, but I will just say this: your predicament is the wash of FSU fans everywhere. I mean, there's no way anybody feels upbeat about FSU football right now. It's not abnormal. I mean, everybody's commiserating. Nobody's walking around like, this is our year, guys, feeling pretty good. I mean, nobody.
Jalen Anderson looks jacked.
Like, man, we went out and got the guy in the portal at the most important position on the field.
No,
Can't
that
wait.
didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
No.
It didn't happen. No. So
In Miami got
yeah.
Darian Mensah.
Yeah. I mean, but it is what it is, man. You're going to watch Florida State play
You
on
are.
Saturdays in the fall.
You are.
Why not want to know who's going to be on
And
the
Friday, don't forget the Fridays.
Oh, for a lot of Fridays.
Lot of-
Yeah, a lot of Fridays. Lots of Fridays. Big on Fridays.
Good point, Corey.
Yeah,
you
don't
can't
forget
forget
about that.
you miss half the schedule.
Yeah, if you just wait
What
till
do you mean we don't
Saturdays.
play on today?
What? They lost 31-11? What? When did that happen? Last
Well,
night? At least I
Well,
didn't
Frank,
watch
it was a road game. True. And it was played on a Thursday. Yeah, or a Friday. Middle of the afternoon on the CW. Good times. But I understand your predicament, Chris. One last one before we go to break. How appealing are we as a program to potential future coaching candidates? Noah wants to know. With the facilities being what they are and the tradition being what it is, and I think
And the talent
probably
base.
a comeuppance for what's really happening in NIL, I think most people now would probably like this job. I think they recognize that they'd be walking into a good situation.
They
with
would
no
they
real
would,
expectation. It's not like you're following the footsteps of a
Of greatness.
legend. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
They-
unless Norvell turns it around, he might. Let's hope he does.
and you would also, any coach that you would want is going to have to get an outline of what you're going to spend on your roster. So for them to consider you, if legitimate high profile coaches are considering this job, that tells you that Florida State is.
But
made
that's
commitment.
that's not reality. There aren't going to be high profile coaches that consider any of these jobs.
Well,
Florida got the Tulane coach.
The guy at USF would be a high profile.
Oh yeah,
you
so
know, like a name
that.
you'd want.
Yeah, you're
an
not getting
attractive name.
Kiffin. But yeah,
I don't want Kiffin.
I don't either. DeBoer.
I don't want DeBoer.
Yeah, right. So that like we have to come to grips with that. Is whoever they hire is going to be from a smaller conference that's done some good things at a smaller
Hard
conference.
line is roaming these sidelines
But the point
a year
being,
from now, boys.
Going back to that question, you want to know what's appealing. That's appealing. You'd rather coach at Florida State than South Florida under any circumstances.
Yeah.
You just would. You just would.
Assuming the NIL is in place.
Well, I was about to say.
They're going to want that question's going to have to be answered.
I mean, it's still going to be more in place than USF.
No, but it's based on who you're competing against.
Hey, you're not.
You know,
you're not
USF,
in the Big Ten. You're not in the Big Ten yet. The ACC sucks.
I'm not saying it has to be top 5 or top 10 in the country, but it
needs to be top 5 in the ACC.
And I think it is top 5 in the
I know.
ACC.
So that's all. Get us to where you can beat ACC teams that are spending less than you. Right. That's all you got to do.
Or any ACC team.
That'd be great.
Any of the ACC teams. If you can beat them, that'd be cool.
They beat
a few last year.
They've beaten 4 in the last 2 years, I think. Maybe 5. How many did they win
Is it
last
4?
year? They went 3 and 5 last year, right?
Yeah. And they won the year before. They beat Cal. They beat Mendoza.
No, they won 3 home games, right? ACC home games.
The year before they won 2 games.
Yeah,
A total of 2 games, only one ACC.
Game. So I think
they won.
I think they've won 4 ACC.
It's hard to keep them straight. All the wins.
Yeah, all 4 of them in 2 years.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Any of those road ACC wins
No,
out there?
no.
Those are elusive. Those are very elusive.
They almost won at NC State, but then a punt bounced off a player's head
and went rocketing back to
right to the punter.
Yeah.
The punter recovered it.
Yeah.
I still think they had a chance at SMU till the ball went off the
Morlock's
face
mask
and then turned into
A lot of ifs, guys.
Yep.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment. Have you heard of Goldbelly, everybody? It's an amazing site. I order from it all the time. You can get the iconic, famous foods from restaurants all across the United States. That's the gist of the whole thing. So, like, if you got a big game day or Valentine's Day, since that's coming up, really anything else that you've got going on, you go to Goldbelly and you look at what I did just this past weekend. Pat's, King of Steak, cheesesteak. You've ever had their Philly cheesesteaks from Pat's? Me too. I've had them in Philadelphia, and I saw it was on the list of places that I could order from Goldbelly. I did. I know that that's one of many restaurants. You could go and you can get the Anchor Bar in Buffalo, the Malnati's, deep dish Chicago pizza if you wanted. Really, any of the famous restaurants. Joe's Stone Crab down in Miami. I saw that on the list. That's next on my horizon. Quality food, ease of shipping. Got here. It was packed in ice. I was ready to roll. Easy instructions. I was eating a cheesesteak with my 2 boys while we watched football. It was absolutely perfect. I love the experience. I'm going to do it again. Whether you're looking for a game day that turns into an unforgettable experience with friends or want to impress a loved one on Valentine's Day, all you got to do is go to goldbelly.com, get 20% off your first order with the promo code HEADLINES. That's right. That's goldbelly.com, code HEADLINES for 20% off your first order.
Deserves better. Visit Tallahassee Ford today.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Craving something different? Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by classically trained Chef Martín himself. It's not just food, it's a trip to Peru without the plane ticket. Swing by Café de Martín today and taste the tradition. Café de Martín, authentic Peruvian, right around the corner.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron.
Gentlemen, I got to make the switch. There it is. I guess it was wise not to hire Will Wade since we know Link will drink a beer. How many Tavellos do you think he had Saturday night? Nicely done, already. No.
The Will Wade thing is that's been an interesting evolution on our Seminole Hoops message board. For those of you who are not yet Warchant subscribers, 50% off right now. Go get a subscription. But on the basketball board, back when Leonard Hamilton officially stepped down, they did this coaching search. There was a strong push for Will Wade on our message boards, which is understandable.
Yeah.
He was doing well at Nicholls State, wherever he was last year. Where was he? Wherever he was.
Yeah, he did well. He won a lot of games.
And then he showed some interest in the Florida State job. Going to the conversation we just had about how much NIL do you have, he ends up not taking the job.
Was none, sir.
But when Luke started off and not well and is getting drilled,
by Will Wade's team by 44 points.
Yeah, famously. So a lot of the the fans who were disgruntled about it came back on the boards and like, hey, I tried to tell you we could have got Will Wade. Well, no, you couldn't have, but that's what they were saying. And now they've come back and said, okay, well, maybe it's a good thing we didn't get Will Wade. So that's been an interesting arc.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, I think it's
you mean they weren't proclaiming it from the mountaintops? Sorry, I had that wrong.
No,
He's a scumbag.
So at least one person did. They were like, I was wrong. Yeah, yeah. And that's that's
pretty rare.
That's the thing with Lane Kiffin, man. How's Ole Miss feel about Lane Kiffin? How do Florida fans feel about Urban Meyer? The titles are awesome, but sometimes that has to play into who you're getting in bed with. I don't think it's going to end great for LSU and Lane Kiffin. We'll see.
Well, they wanted to hire a triumvirate of ass faces.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they do there.
They have. That's
kind of they lean into that.
Yeah,
like that's
they can't
their
wait
thing.
to hire the worst people on earth. Yes. Yeah, that's what they do.
McNeese State is who it was, not Nicholls State. My bad.
Ambassador to Florida
Thanks,
wants
Life
to
Spectre.
know, I'm going to ask you guys to put on your thinking hats and then cast some aspersions. Who was White referring to when he said we don't have to put up with this bull crap, and less the guys who don't respect the logo or what Coach Norvell is trying to do?
Yeah,
I got some. I'm gonna say I think. Can we say Nate? We can say Nate. Is Edwin Joseph's not here anymore? Right?
He's one of them.
He's definitely one of them.
Said it if he was.
Yep, you got that one.
Got that
Ring
one.
the bell.
What about James Williams?
So I don't know if that's one, but it's possible.
He certainly is
possible.
addition by subtraction.
The fans are assuming he's one of them, whether he is or not. A lot of people are.
But did Tony? I mean, Tony would. I wouldn't
brought
think
him
wouldn't
in.
have brought him in if he didn't.
I think that. I will say that there are some people I've talked to in the program who were not fans of James because they felt like he wasn't with the program. For however you want. Like there was things they didn't like about the way he approached some things, but
I didn't like his nutrition. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you weren't a big fan of that.
More?
Well, but his wife's a nutritionist, so I'm sure he was going with what she said, which is fine. He probably looks a lot better without his shirt on, but he gets run over by tackles on a consistent basis.
Football and being able to be stout against the run.
So who else?
Earl Little? A lot of DBs. No, Earl, I think they did like. It was Edwin Joseph, Conrad Hussey, who left before the season.
Yeah. Arnaud?
Shamar Arnaud was a big one.
There we go. So
and,
DBs.
Yeah, it was a lot of DBs. And
what
interestingly enough,
Patrick Surtain?
I was going to say, interestingly enough, their position coach is no longer at Florida State, which shines some light onto why that
He's still upset about the loss in '96. When he was on that Southern Miss team and they came in here and got stomped by Warwick Dunn and the boys.
So he brought in dudes that would
he tried to sabotage the program from within.
Yeah, and it's not like they're all just terrible people, but not necessarily respecting coaches, not necessarily respecting the logo, like just not being part of what you need to be. And the unfortunate thing about that is you have guys that are, somebody's going to lead. It's not always good. We talk about leaders. Sometimes the leaders are not positive leaders. And one of the things that I've heard is that some of the guys who were following some of those guys now they're more in line now because they're following the Ashland markers and some of those guys. So
why is there a bell in here?
I'm not sure.
An IT trolley, right?
Yeah, for years I've used it for the trolley and for other things, but that I didn't bring it in. It's just always been here.
Yeah, just happened to
Who
be there.
Who doesn't like to ring a bell?
Well, it's cool. It worked out great. The production segment we had beforehand came in handy.
Yeah, well done. Ultra Mega Chicken writes, best outcome for the quarterback position this year. 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
You said production out best. What was the question?
They said best outcome.
Outcome. I'm giving you the production.
I think he's talking about who wins the job.
Yeah. I was thinking about that on the drive over here, actually.
Okay.
Because I've been of the belief, and Jeff asked me about this yesterday on the show.
I did.
Do we believe it's a real competition or not? And I just feel like Kevin Sperry would have to outplay Ashton Daniel to a high level.
That's not improbable.
No, but I would say this.
Or impossible, I should say.
No, it's not. And what I was thinking about was, we were surprised by how emphatic Mike Norvell was about Ashton Daniels
at the opening press conference
being the guy.
Yeah.
Like you would try to get him to say it was no big competition.
Corey baited him repeatedly.
Yes, please tell me it's competition.
Mike Norvell was not interested in that. But I was thinking about on the drive over here, is it possible that Mike Norvell was like, we want Kevin Sperry to win the job, but he's got to go take it. So we're not going to let him believe he's got we're going to make him believe he's got to overcome it.
A little Jedi mind action.
And
here.
It's better with Ashton because he believes he's going to be the guy and he's going to stay and feel. And they've already seen last year he stayed as the backup at Auburn, and so. But you would definitely want him to believe he's going to be the guy. So maybe they
especially
always
this time of year.
Even if they thought there was a chance Kevin Sperry could win the job, maybe that's the way you'd approach it anyway. I was just something that crossed my mind.
I definitely think it's a competition, though. And I definitely think.
But don't you think Sperry's got to knock him out? It's got to be clear.
Yeah, but I don't think it's got to be like 70-30. If it's 60-40, you go with the younger guy. I think so because Ashton Daniels never won Mike Norvell a game. He hasn't won many people any game.
But Kevin Sperry hasn't taken starters snaps.
Yeah,
and been the guy, the start of an SMU
But you
game.
do get the New Mexico State game, so you do have a little, hopefully, theoretically, a layup type first game where you win and you can get his.
That's
feet
a dub,
wet.
man. I'm counting that.
You're already counting that dub.
I wrote it in.
Yeah,
and then Sperry's going to be playing his boys back from Texas. Man, he ain't losing to those guys. He ain't losing to those clowns. I think the best outcome is that Sperry. I just think. I really do like what Daniels did those last 2 games, man. And also, I forgot, somebody pointed out on Wake Up Warchant, he authored the 28-point comeback against Colorado.
So you guys were
2
talking
years
about
ago.
that.
Ashton Daniels threw for 400 yards in that game.
What a day.
But that game, I do want to go back and watch. Did you go back and watch it?
No, of course
I would
not.
like to go back and watch it.
I watched it live at Corner
I did
Pocket.
too because I was in the midst of hate watching Dion in
It's
Colorado
easy
that
to
season.
do, buddy.
And so that receiver from Stanford, they had a dude that was like a tight end at receiver
Stud.
that just caught everything. They were trying to send 2 guys at him. He caught everything and just ran dudes over.
13 for 294.
He was unbelievable.
And 4, I think all 4 touchdowns.
Have
were his.
yourself a day, young
And
man.
I don't remember watching.
Also, Charles Kelly. Let's give him some safety help over the top.
I
We
forgot.
got to bracket. Let's bracket WR1.
I forgot that dude. And I don't think he'd had a ton of big catches before that game. It was like out of nowhere. But I remember watching. I remember just being really impressed by that guy. I forgot that it was Ashton Daniels.
Hey man, well he's shown he can throw it to big receivers.
Yeah,
he's
there you
got
go.
one here too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Sperry, I think that's the best outcome is that because I just don't think Daniels is anything special. The jury's still out on Sperry. Maybe he is special.
Steven wants to know, did we buy anything in the Bowden auction?
I bought the house.
I did not.
Did you?
Yeah, moving in a couple weeks.
I know who bought the house.
So.
Democrat did an article on it about him.
Yeah, but I did not buy anything. Ingram did. The battle's in.
Nice.
He called me and told me that he.
What he buys?
Bid,
Were
a
you
few
allowed to
things.
divulge?
There's simple things. One of them was like the candlesticks, I think, which
What
made
about?
me
Can
laugh.
you get like a toilet seat?
Well,
Like, is anything on the table? Like a
and
drawer?
then frame it?
Yeah, this is Bobby
Bowden's
Bowden's toilet
sat
seat
on this many
for
times.
decades.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird
That's
thing to
the-
go
that's
get
the
memorabilia.
toilet seat of greatness.
It's a weird thing
The
to go
throne,
get
Bowden's
him.
throne.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean,
So good.
that seems like that's a conversation starter of all conversation starters.
Where would you put that in your house?
I'd hang it up over the
On the
TV.
wall?
You just constantly look at it. You go to bed at night and be like, love you, Bobby.
See you tomorrow, big dog.
Corey goes to pick it up. He goes to claim it. And he's like, can I get the toilet paper?
I need all of it. I need
I
the
want it all.
accoutrement. I need the
Yeah.
accoutrement that
Yeah.
goes with it.
No, I didn't get anything. And
You
I
don't think
these
Bowden had a
two did.
bidet?
No. Oh boy. Yeah. What? No, he's too old school for
Ira,
today, and I'm not going to get into it.
Start.
I was about to regale you guys with
No,
but
you're
I won't.
not going to.
Right.
The second part of his question is whether or not we have faith that Norvell will properly utilize Danzy.
Good question. He forgot he was on the team 2 years ago when he was the OC.
He had issues. Yeah, there were issues. There were a lot of things swirling around on that team 2 years ago. So
Just give it to the fastest guy on the field and see if he can do anything, because letting Kromenhawk go, I'm in the fetal position again, that was pointless. Let Danzy take the snaps.
Except for when Kromenhawk
broke
is
off
throwing dimes and my man can't catch it.
Or he broke off his
Yeah,
was that Portier that dropped that
Or
one?
he broke off his 50-yard sneak.
Just take
against
that,
Miami.
Canes. Take that, Cam Ward. Cam Ward's still talking about that.
Man, that pass to Portier is perfect.
It is a great
It
throw.
is a dime.
Yep.
It probably changes the trajectory of the young man's career.
Yeah.
Catch that. We're rolling. This is a big dub.
Yeah.
Confidence is
Yep,
gained.
Manny
Now
Diaz,
he's
he's
just
like that.
slinging it around
Mensa
the lot.
would be here right now.
Still, well, anyhow, do we have faith? We have faith?
Yes.
Danzy will get used, yeah.
Yeah.
Tim Harris will make sure that Danzy gets used.
Who wins a fight between Dan Hurley and Tony Bennett?
Oh, Dan Hurley. Tony Bennett's too nice, man. Dan Hurley was probably in a fight last week. Tony Bennett hasn't been in a fight maybe in his life.
You know what? If there was a fight, I'm on Tony's side.
Oh, no way.
I'm taking Tony's side.
Wow, Ira.
That's how I feel about Dan Hurley.
Dan looks tiny to me.
Tony
he doesn't
and
look like
I-
a big guy at all.
Like it'll
He
be
was like a 6'3" point guard.
Was he?
I think. I'll look that up.
Look it up.
He's definitely a point guard.
Tony and Danny are squaring off in the bar. And then I walk over and Tony's thinking, oh no, I got to deal with Ira also.
No, but then you're like,
And
I
I'm
got
like,
you.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Tony. I buried it all.
You go from, it's like a heel in wrestling,
Yes.
and he makes the
Yes,
flip in the moment.
I come into the ring and I grab the chair and I hit Dan Hurley over the head with the chair.
And the whole bar cheers.
Yes, everybody
yeah,
cheers.
Yeah, and then you and Tony are having a drink.
Yeah.
How about that? And then
I
you
might
say,
turn
"Look,
on him
man,
later.
6'2".
6'2".
6'2".
All right.
Big guy. Big-ish guy. Bigger than the normal population.
How-
And mean.
okay, well, but
mean
for-
as a snake.
For this purpose, look up Tony Bennett.
Yeah, you're
He's
right.
not 6'2".
We're trying to figure this out.
I don't think he's 6'2".
I've never stood next to him. I don't have any idea.
Maybe
And
6 foot.
I got to specify not the singer Tony Bennett.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Who's dead?
Yes.
Yeah, he couldn't win any fight.
But we would take his side too.
Absolutely. We would
100%,
take
yeah.
his side all
Yeah.
day long. So David joins the chorus of people who has a hard time getting excited for the upcoming football season. He said that he does hope that the teams are, perhaps
6'3". Tony Bennett 6'3".
That's not true.
Yeah,
That's what it says.
Yeah, 6'3".
He doesn't have that energy.
He dressed dapper. He didn't have to show off. He's confident.
I just think the meaner guy and the guy that's been in more scraps in his life is going to win that.
You don't know anything about Tony Bennett's
You're
background.
right. I just feel like he's sipped a lot of tea in his life.
Tony might have been in Navy SEALs for all
Yeah,
you know.
you're right.
We don't know.
You don't judge books by covers.
His hope is that the team overachieves. And, basically, would we be excited and would we expect something like that to happen? An overachieving season.
Since 2013, how many times have Florida State fans really enjoyed watching their football team?
Oh, there's a dearth.
And I'm not just talking about W's and L's.
So
I'm talking
Tom brought this up the other day. We were talking because I tend to block out, I should say, some of these really awful seasons. Now, you can't block out 2 and 10. That just beats you over the head.
Yeah.
But some of the other middling seasons, I kind of lump in with being halfway decent when they weren't. And he was saying, because his time at school here was much different than mine, he never got to see anything good.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well,
really ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough time.
Non-sports things.
Yeah. So, right. Yes. The women that go to Florida State are indeed beautiful.
And
But
you got to see baseball games and stuff.
Yeah,
and
stuff
the sun.
like that. Yeah. But it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough. But anyhow, he was saying, he goes, I just, other than the magic that we had out there in Pasadena, there has not been much. And then we had this one great season under Mike, and of course, then the snub happened. He's like, other than that, there's been a
Just
whole
a
lot
lot
of
of-
average to bad football.
But not even the 14 team was demonstrably a good football team.
Well, they
but
went undefeated in
it
the
was a
regular
lot
season.
of angst.
Yeah. Well, but I still
The
enjoyed
16
But
team.
it was fun at the end of those games.
The 16 team against, they won. There was a fun end of the season. They beat Florida, and
Michigan
then they beat the
game was
Jabril Peppers-less Michigan Wolverines.
Devastating.
But that was a lot of angst in that season.
Well,
You had-
because we could see it was beginning
but
to
you
falter.
also had the Louisville debacle. You had the loss to
Of course,
Carolina.
it was beginning to falter,
Right.
yes.
And then, so I would say, those were, I think 15 was an enjoyable season
I do too.
because they played really hard on
And they
defense.
were tough. They were tough.
Yeah, they were tough, and they had Smag and Golson at quarterback, and they still managed to, if they don't give away the Georgia Tech game with that nonsense with the block kick, they
and
might
then
have
the
still
booby
won the
tackle
ACC.
I still say 2018 until kickoff against Virginia Tech was fun. Like,
I mean,
until the
until the kickoff.
Best spring game of all time.
It was.
Right?
It actually
When
was.
he went around and did the high
Sold the
fives.
hell out.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I was drinking tall beers and celebrating.
The head coach did a lap around the stadium,
Let's go.
high-fiving everybody.
And that was the highlight of his tenure.
It was.
Great vibes.
It was
I
great
remember
vibes.
when we started to suspect he didn't know anything about Florida State history.
Yeah.
There was a couple of moments where we kind of looked at each other like, I don't think he's ever
It would be
seen a
like
Florida
me
State
saying
game ever.
somebody's like, I would tell somebody I'm the biggest San Diego Chargers, LA Chargers fan in the world.
Kellen Winslow.
Oh, yeah. What are your plays that you remember?
Dan Fouts.
The Miami
I
game,
grew
the
up
game
Dan
against Miami,
Fouts
Dan
and
Fouts, Kellen Winslow, Jefferson,
Wes Chandler.
LaDainian Tomlinson. Oh, and Phillip Rivers. Yeah, but particular games or moments, I just remember Dan Fouts throwing all those touchdowns. That's kind of how it was.
You don't remember
But
the
also,
famed Chargers Miami playoff
No
game?
shame to Willie Taggart because he was busy on Saturdays when they were awesome. He was a quarterback in college football.
Another shame. Don't tell people you're a huge fan of the history of Florida State.
You're right.
Jimbo was busy on Saturdays too. And
Jimbo could recall the 87 Miami game.
What they called on 2nd and 7 and 77.
They don't feel like Jimbo, man.
Yeah, that was impressive. Anyhow, 6-7 wins. Would that be a surprise season?
Is that why you did that?
No,
6-7
You
wins.
did that?
That's what he wrote.
That would be a surprise.
No, I think that's about what we're expecting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's.
I would love to get to 9 wins.
8
I
would
think
be a surprise to me.
It would be a pleasant surprise.
But would you be able to enjoy an 8-win season?
Oh, with this schedule, it's a tough schedule.
You'd probably have to win a road
but
game.
You'd
you
almost
would.
mathematically
You
you'd
would
have
to win a road game, indeed.
But would you be able to enjoy it and be like, man, that was a fun fall?
It beats the hell out of a losing season.
But it's also Florida State.
No,
and
it's not. It's
8-4.
not
You
where
know what
it
I
needs to
mean?
be. No, we're always going to say that.
We're
The
aware.
caveat
But
will
that's
be
what
there.
I'm saying. So I don't think you're going to really enjoy it like a Vanderbilt fan would, because it's still judged against what your
but your
standards are.
expectations change. I mean, it is
Now,
reality.
I don't want that to be a permanent,
right,
diluted sense of what Florida State football is.
I can't wait to.
It's not ideal to be in this place in year 7 of a head coach's
I can't wait
tenure.
to cross
It's
that
not ideal.
bridge.
Be here almost a decade, and we're still wondering if we can get to 6 wins.
Not ideal.
It'll be fun to get across that bridge, though, to what that 8 wins season feels like again. One of these days in our lifetimes, Florida State's going to have a winning season and go to a bowl.
Oh, well,
It's going to make it all worthwhile.
It's going to happen again,
the
folks.
enduring of this.
Yeah.
These kinds of questions. Yep. Yeah, I guess. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
News now.
A man was killed in a broad daylight shooting Sunday afternoon in a residential area in northwest Tallahassee. Officers responded around 4:40 p.m. to reports of a shooting in the 2800 block of Farringdon Drive in the Huntington Woods subdivision. When they arrived, they found an adult male suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim was transported to a local hospital, but he succumbed to his injuries. It was part of a bloody Sunday in Tallahassee. 4 people were injured near the campus of Florida A&M University overnight after bullets began to fly at a large gathering in the early morning hours on Sunday. And about an hour before the shooting near FAMU, 1 person was shot and suffered non-life-threatening injuries in the area of Potbellies. Preliminary information indicates the latest shooting occurred during a physical altercation. Detectives are asking anyone who may have witnessed the incident to contact the Tallahassee Police Department at 850-891-4200. This is Rachel Anay with the Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McLemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with highs around 83. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies with fog in spots tonight. Lows level off around 63. Slight chance for storms and foggy early tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 84, partly cloudy. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 82 degrees.
Real Talk 93.3 has your free tickets for Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live. Glowing Fire, Saturday and Sunday, April 11th and 12th at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. And here's how you can win a 4-pack of tickets. Show us your Hot Wheels. That's right. Text us a photo of your ride to 850-386-8255. We'll post all the photo submissions on the Real Talk 93.3 Facebook page, and then our listeners can vote for their favorite. So no matter what kind of car you drive, text us a photo of your Hot Wheels to 850-386-8255. and you'll win tickets to the Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow and Fire at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center, April 11th and 12th. Visit tuckerciviccenter.com for tickets and info, and text us a photo of your Hot Wheels to 850-386-8255.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
And I always now forget to hit that. So you get the little Jason scary Friday the 13th effect as we come back. I actually like it.
Can I share a little good news?
Sure.
Well, Schofel family good news.
Oh, well, this is huge. Let's go.
Just got a text from our daughter, Molly, who's in grad school in Tampa. She has passed her comps, her comprehensive exams.
Kicking ass, as always.
She's going to be a doctor, PhD.
Very cool. Well, that's the most sure thing we were.
Yeah.
Lord.
How old is she?
25.
Yeah, she should have been a doctor
She's
at
a
19.
badass.
She was a Doogie Howser.
It is crazy. I mean, again, if any teacher I had between, I don't know, it's the third grade, I was okay in first and second grade.
Yeah.
Kindergarten, I was an ace. But third on, things got a little dicey for me academically.
Up and down.
If you told any of those teachers from third grade through 11th
you would
grade,
have produced
a doctor.
you and your wife.
a PhD.
Yeah,
Mostly you,
badass.
though. Kim had very little to do with Molly's upbringing.
Make sure you tell her that when you get home.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have.
Do you
I
see
usually
what
do.
I've done?
This is an Irish O'Fell joint right here. That's
Shout
how you
out,
say it.
Shout out to Molly. Corey
Shout
talks,
out to Molly.
Corey
for
talks
sure.
about Brady striking out in games. I talk about the successes.
Did it twice yesterday too, everyone. I got
There you go.
to drive all the way up there for that.
Looking or swinging?
The looking is what bothers me.
Of
And the
course.
second one, he had worked the walk, great at bat, 3-2 pitch, ball in the dirt, check swing. He didn't go, but he was rung up anyway.
Hey, listen, I watched a bunch of guys take third strikes.
Yeah,
for Florida State.
it bothers me the call. You're a senior once. You're probably baseball. You're never gonna play baseball again. Swing the bat. That's my message to him.
Do you say that every
I
time?
do. I get really upset with the called strikes. Just quit being so precious about the pitches. Put the ball in play. He did hose a kid at third. Hosed them.
Nice.
7th inning. They're up by 1. Kid at second. Nobody out. Pickoff play goes in the center. Brady gets it. Hoses the kid at third base. Called safe. And they lost the game.
Well, my God, Brady was getting bent over all game yesterday.
It was
Strike
cool
three,
that he,
check swing,
but that
hosed.
was a clutch ass big time throw on a flipping line right to the third baseman.
He's got a stutzer line.
And they
stutzer
call it.
arm.
He does, I mean, that's his tool. That's him. His speed and his arm are pretty good tools. The hit tool we got to still work on, guys. Sorry, enough of that. Let's get back to Molly being a doctor.
Sean writes, best of luck and quick recovery for Miles. I wanted to explore another way of looking at this situation in a more positive light. Would you rather have the first half of the season with Bailey carrying the hitting or a second half of the season with Fish, Chase, Carnes, Putnam moving back to normal in last year's form? Just imagine everyone else getting a little bit better now. I think we would all agree that the latter is much better even without Miles. I truly think it is possible, not one person, but everyone rallying for their fallen captain getting a little bit better. All hope is not lost.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for, and that can happen. I mean, it can happen.
Yeah,
guys elevate their play, and like we've said, there's some guys that we know can play better than they have. So that's a possibility.
Yeah, most of those guys are coming back. They could be on the team next year, so this will be a good 2 months for them.
A few people have asked what Molly's major is. She's in IO psychology, industrial organizational psychology. I can't even pronounce it or probably spell it, but basically it's like in work management, human resources kind of stuff. She wants to be a professor. And
Brady just started passing weight training. He had been failing for a couple of weeks,
but he got it together.
He got the grade up there now.
Locked
He's a beast.
it in.
He locked it in. So we're good.
It in.
We are good.
Nicely done. Seth writes, afternoon, gentlemen. Serious question. Has any program had worse? Okay.
Worse luck?
Yeah, we've had worse luck. Other programs have had
well,
worse
every
luck,
program, legitimately, every program goes through horrific injuries. It's tough when it's
the similarities for these two situations is tough.
It's in the middle of the field, like you pointed out, both in the middle of the flipping field.
I will read this in its entirety in fairness to them. All right. So anybody had worse luck over the past decade than FSU? Taggart. Well, they earned that. They hired him.
That wasn't luck. That was a
not
bad
luck.
hire.
That's just a bad hire. And listen, that can happen. I actually thought the Taggart hire was going to work out. I was wrong. The 2020 hoop season getting wiped out.
That's bad.
But that's
luck.
everybody's 2020 season.
Yeah.
Got
But-
wiped.
Yeah. It was,
I mean, there were some teams out there who also thought that they were going to go
the
deep.
one time Florida State had legitimate for national.
What did we do to deserve this? A lot of emotional bandwidth here. And then Chris added to Seth's post by saying, ditto, I'm moving out of Tallahassee before a meteor strikes.
That's smart. I will say when it comes to the check swing, it wasn't like that was ball four and it walked in a run. You could still go get the out on the next pitch, or the outfielder could have made the play.
Well, there were a lot of
he
plays
was on
leading up.
fumes.
There were a lot of plays leading up to that.
Yeah.
They
And
butchered
give the credit,
end of that
give
game.
the kid credit for hitting the ball. I mean, whatever. Like it's sometimes you get bad calls. You got to overcome them.
I also said
But
at the time,
it would have but that call, you've got the win.
the game's over.
You may win the World Series. I mean, look, it changed the whole
This is the
thing.
hard part, Ira, because I believe, I don't know, but I believe if they win that game, they are going to win the College World Series.
Tennessee, with that team, if they had lost the first game, they might have gotten 2-Q. Like they may have been just like
It hurts.
a wreck.
I also hated everything that led up to that play. I mean, you really butchered the end of that game. I mean, they
But what can you do?
Yeah.
Well, what can you do? Still, you're in the arena, right? You're in the arena. You get to play. It's a fun game. People are watching. It's good time.
It still hurts.
Yeah.
It still hurts.
Yeah,
And, and especially now when you're sitting here going, this team is not even before the Miles injury, is not even close to that team. That team was loaded.
Yeah, offensively. Yeah.
Oh, that team was.
I think this team potentially should have better pitching. We'll see. And pitching's pretty important. I'm going to need Beard to look a lot better than he did on Saturday moving forward, and same with Bryson Moore on Sunday. Like if those three guys, because Mendez has got better numbers than Arnold by a significant margin than at this point last year. Mendez looks like a first-round pick.
He's been awesome.
He's been incredible. So
Brett,
if those two guys can pick up, you got a really good starting rotation.
It's not all bad luck though, guys. I mean, they won the national championship in soccer.
Yep.
You got Issa Torres.
Yep.
You got a good track program.
Yeah.
So,
Ish.
there's
There's
beach volleyball.
Tiger Woods' son is coming, and Tiger's been out of the news recently,
He's
right?
doing
He's
great.
doing great.
Just keep that down. We're not trying to bring attention to that.
Brett, right. So 2 weeks ago, we were asking what the ceiling for the baseball team was. Now, what's the floor? Then he goes on to say, is it viable to think that we can be a top 16 seed?
It's
Maybe,
viable,
yeah,
but
maybe.
I think the floor is you're on the road in a regional.
I
think you'll get to a regional because of what you've already done. You just literally have to win probably 9 or 10 more games. But yeah, man,
You don't have to go in the tank though. I mean, like
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. It's allowed. You're allowed to pick up.
It's a hell of a
for
loss, though,
teammate.
boys.
It
I
is.
mean, that
It
is
is.
a running kick to the balls. It just is. He goes on to say, I did not share Jeff's enthusiasm for the Duke loss. Yeah, I said nothing brings a country together like a painful Duke loss. But it is Hurley that gets
That's the
rewarded,
problem.
which makes it so hard.
And they cut to him and his family.
Yeah,
his family in the
exactly.
crowd. So immediately I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
At least we didn't get to see Bobby Hurley on a couch somewhere celebrating.
I did laugh at the mom. The mom.
I mean, she
that's
was.
That's
you
a
see where,
fantastic
yeah,
response.
yeah.
Her
Holy
words.
effing
And,
yeah,
that
like
was
it's
great. I was
crazy.
like, that's a cool mom.
It's a perfect Hurley response.
By the way, he goes on to say, and I think the three of us would agree here, there is no coach I loathe more than Hurley. In basketball, I would say that,
Right.
Brett. There's a guy in Gainesville that is impossible.
He's worse. He's worse than Hurley.
He's a terrible,
Because I think
terrible
Hurley
human
might
being.
actually be a decent-ish
Might
human being
Might-
off the
might-
court.
might be.
We know this guy isn't. But I will say this to give Florida State baseball fans some hope. There was no better baseball player in the world in 2021 than Ronald Acuna. Literally in the world. He was the best player. He was having his best season. They weren't playing very well.
He gets hurt, you win
he
the
tears
World
his knee
Series.
up.
Yeah.
They get some guys to try to replace him in the aggregate, and they win in the World Series.
And that's
So,
what you hear anyway, because you didn't watch it, but you heard that.
I heard they
World
won the
Series.
game.
Yeah.
I heard they won the game.
What year was it you brought Brady and they were down 10-0 in the first?
Oh
no, I didn't take Brady to that game. That was 2019.
That was hilarious.
Yes,
I remember almost texting you, but I
bought
love
tickets.
you, so I didn't do
It was Game 5 against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And I bought tickets for me and my 7 buddies.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money. It was a Game 5
You
of
left.
a playoff.
You left, didn't you?
I mean, I left in the
Second?
seventh.
Oh, you stayed to the
I mean, I spent that much money. I'm like, I want to, but we got to see history. 10 runs in 1 inning.
All right, say goodbye, everybody. We
Peace.
did great. We did a good job.
Talk to you next time.
Bonus hour coming up with me and Tom, as always. And until next headlines, we say thanks and be well, everybody.